And now, from the bowels of the internet, it's the Hateful Podcast.
The Hateful Podcast is on the air. I'm Yell Chaos, the least annoying of the four. Joining me as always, the almighty Razor Fist.
Nipples!
The indestructible Alpha Omega Sin.
Butt cheeks.
And the man at the switches, Sainted Magnus.
Huzzah!
Welcome to our show. Huzzah. Without wasting any time at all, we're going to jump right into the colostomy bag. Now, if you have a question, please feel free to drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. And if you're not inclined to write us, one of those emails out longhand, because apparently anything that requires moving your hands is a fucking inconvenience these days, go ahead and like us on Facebook, and you can just listen to whatever we have to say, and you don't even have to contribute at all. And we thank you for it. Anyway, first piece of mail comes from Jeebus Crust. And Jesus Crust says, "Hello, you fucking awesome gamer metalheads. I would like to start off by saying that your podcast is one of the best things in the whole internet, as it is the only thing in there that manages to keep my sanity level a bit more stable after having to be temporarily disabled because of an accident I just had in which I lost a fucking toe and severely damaged another on a goddamn lawnmower."
Wow.
Holy shit, I'm sorry, and I like your name.
I just would like to recommend that you change your line of work. Anyway, and he says, anyway, all stories aside, well, we could have done without that one, but we appreciate it anyway. I hope if you if you have any, disfiguring stories to tell us, please drop it at the Hatebit Podcast. All stories aside, I hope you guys answer these questions in your podcast. Question number 1. Should there be a sequel to Brutal Legend? If so, what compilation of bands would you like to hear in the game?
Oh,
I'm not familiar with that game. I remember it being kind of stock. Does anybody remember anything, stand outish about that game?
It was pretty good. It's just, it was a bad move to bring, it's always a bad move to bring an RTS to a console. Yeah. So that was really the only weak point of the game, was the RTS elements could have been a little easier to handle.
Hell, I say the biggest fucking problem was the demo made it seem like it was a hack and slash game because it didn't give the player any of the RTS elements. So people went into it with false impressions. Other than that, I fucking thought that they did a bang up job. This shit was awesome.
Yeah, I think it would have been a better game as a hack and slash, really. And it's cool that they added the RTS elements as a whole extra thing, and you kind of had the hack and slash in the RTS at the same time, but it just didn't quite work. It would have been better off being more of an adventure game and just hack and slash whatever, but we'll see. Maybe Tim Schafer will do a Kickstarter for a Brutal Legends sequel. Who knows?
I would love that to death.
I know, because EA will never pull the trigger on that again.
Fuck no, dude.
I remember seeing...
God forbid they generate a new IP. We can't have that.
I remember seeing that band. I remember seeing that game being displayed at the merch table during a Death Clock show in Las Vegas once, and I thought it was just an ordinary hack and slash. I didn't give it much attention. I feel bad for that, but I always get a little embarrassed when quote unquote heavy metal is represented in the mainstream media, because they have a habit of projecting an image from like 1987.
Yeah.
That's what they think. Everyone in heavy metal still wears tassels and leather jackets.
It's a little different because Tim Schafer's a hardcore metal fan, so he has a soundtrack full of like NWO, BHM, and like all kinds of just it's stuff that you wouldn't expect to hear in like Guitar Hero. I
did think that the crossover they did with Death Clock was kind of cute. I thought that was
dude.
Neat.
You want to know what? And I've said this so many fucking times. I actually said this on my channel once before. I would really, really fucking love to see Eddie Riggs' character played by Jack Black. If anybody's just like, who the fuck is that? Eddie Riggs to come back on the show, because to be honest, he fit in really well, and it's not like the show has a character like that's from like a different fucking world and can just rip everything limb from limb except for their manager. But he fit in pretty well.
That's a very good point. He could be like the sideshow Bob of that show. He just kind of shows up and there he is.
But
he doesn't have to be a consistent character, but
now he's in Electronic Arts intellectual property, so there's no way they're gonna let him do that. Because now it's a failed game, so they have to sweep it under the rug. So
great.
Even though it
Oh,
did
well.
sell, it sold reasonably well. It just didn't, it didn't sell 7 trillion copies, so it must be a failure.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
just
one
remember,
reason to
if a
despise
game-
EA.
Yeah,
If a game doesn't sell 17 million copies, it's a flop. Even if you look at all the past franchises, which are now legends, none of them really did those numbers, with the exception of shit like Mario. So
Well, now to say this, now, would you say that it warrants a sequel?
fucking right, dude. It deserves
Absolutely.
it in every single way.
All right, and then we have an agreement there. But what bands do need to be on the soundtrack there? Who needs to
Death.
be on the soundtrack? Death?
I'm wearing a Death shirt right now,
I do
and
you-
Death needs to be on there because they're one of the most important fucking metal bands in my opinion. And just Chuck Schuldiner.
Raise
all
your
the
fist.
fucking
Raise
way.
your fist. Who needs to be on there?
Bathory. They were missing Bathory big time, and the black metal selection was a little on the weak side. Actually, there were some good stuff, but I mean, they didn't have most of the big names. I think they might have had Immortal. I can't remember, but
I'm sure they did.
it was mostly like blackened to death garbage and stuff. There wasn't a lot of good black metal. So
Was
I'd
the
say
Tigers
that.
hang on there.
Yeah, actually, I think Tigers of Pantang was on there.
Why
Like
is-
I said, dude, new wave of British heavy metal was all over the place in that
Oh,
game.
wow.
I think they
Dude
even
knew
had
his
some.
stuff then.
I think they even
now
had-
I gotta try it now. God damn
Oh,
it!
dude, here, how about this? The fact that Lemmy shows up in the game.
I heard about
uh,
that.
A fucking Aussie shows up in the game. Who
Oh,
else
that's
shows up?
another thing. Okay, not anything to do with the soundtrack, but where the fuck was Alice Cooper in that game?
Good
He-
question.
He'll be in the sequel.
I mean, he's done acting. He's a funny guy. It seemed like a natural fit.
Oh,
I
he
have
was
no
great
idea.
in Wayne's World or Wayne's World
Yeah,
2.
he was
First-
brilliant in Wayne's World.
Here's the thing, and I'll say this to everybody that's listening right now. I know that we have a lot of Metalhead listeners. I know for a fucking fact that we have a lot of Metalhead listeners, and I do fucking appreciate that. But please, make it a note to go pick this game up. I shit you not, man. I shit you fucking not. Out at Kmart, I went out there, picked up a couple games. Brutal Legend for PS3 was in there for $2 Do you people
Yeah,
hear me? $2.
really.
This isn't a fucking sale, by the way. And I know it might be different depending on where you're at, but $2 goddamn fucking dollars, you owe it to yourself to fucking pick the game up and pick it up new, for fuck's sake. And I say it for one reason. The game deserves its fucking sales, and Electronic Arts needs to recognize that it fucking is an awesome
Yeah.
IP that deserves to fucking live on and not just be a one-hit wonder.
Well, then, if you're interested in seeing a sequel to Brutal Legend, what you have to do is you have to buy as many copies of it as you can. Get them cheap, and then get that. It's going to be a reply card from EA, and what you need to do is just write in big. It's going to cost you 40 cents to ship it, but what you do is you write "fuck you," and then you mail that to EA. They'll get the game made, and you'll have made your point with Electronic Arts.
Good stuff.
I'm certain that they get lots
Could you
of
imagine that? Like 10,000 "fuck you" cards going through some sorting office at EA headquarters.
Happy
I think
birthday!
that's kind of the YouTube equivalent of that is what happened after Mass Effect 3 dropped. I think that's
I would say just do it just to stir up this shit though. Everybody who's listening right now, go to Electronic Arts, go to their website, find a contact, just anybody. Contact like the director of marketing and just email him "fuck you."
Oh wait, you know what? Beyond all of this fucking awesome Brutal Legend love and EA shellacking, one individual has not touched base on this, and that is Defined Sainted Magnus. How do you feel about Brutal Legend and what have you?
Well, I'll be honest, I've not played it yet, mainly because the reason is I don't really trust EA games that much anymore. So naturally,
Dude, it's just
it was
published
the game.
by them.
It was just published by them, which is, as you can tell, I'm a bit
But that
skeptical
logo's
about.
enough to scare anybody away.
Yeah,
Dude, it's a double fine game.
And
Double
not only
Fine does
that,
a good job.
yeah, it's not only that, but it's a two-headed beast because it was originally owned by Activision, and then Activision passed on it and let them go. They canceled it. And EA picked up the bit and gave them funding to finish the game.
That's
Yeah,
weird.
that's one of the rare occasions and that's one of the reasons why I always say that EA isn't the worst thing in the entire universe, because they published Brutal Legend and Shadows of the Damned. right there, you get my nod of approval because I love both of those games, and they're fucking
and
shining
that's-
examples of what is awesome.
Unfortunately, I talked about this briefly, I think, in one of my rants on here, but there was a period in 2008, 2007, 2000, beginning of 2009 is when it started to go away. When EA, John Riccitiello had just taken over as the head of EA, and he was a former BioWare guy, and he was big on, we have to create new IPs and new ideas, and that's when games like Dead Space came out, and Mirror's Edge, and Brutal Legend, and all these new IPs. It's when they went out and bought the Mass Effect franchise. They wanted to take newer concepts and push them forward and have new IPs, and then his punishment for doing that was a vote of no confidence threat from the shareholders, and now he's terrified to do anything like that again. So basically, he's completely backed into a corner. That he dared to be creative for 5 goddamn minutes, and they had called for his job.
You know why? Because it's not selling like Call of Duty. It's automatically a failure.
Yep. Exactly. Bingo.
And that's what's fucking sad, man, is that these are fantastic games that a lot of people aren't aware of because nobody wants to back them because, well, oh my god, not generic first-person shooter number 99,994.
Oh, I'm sick of
Well, you know
generic
what
first-person shooters. I really am.
What really blows me away is how the stockholders are influencing the industry, and how that they clearly don't understand how investment, investment brokering really works. If you expect your product, or your bottom line to grow year over year over year over year every single year for as long as you are alive, that is called a losing business model.
Yep.
And I thought these were like stock people who knew how to invest, but clearly they don't, because the key to any good market is diversity.
Yeah, if you're growing year over year over year, you're probably involved in a Ponzi scheme, and you should get out now.
Or you're involved in weapons or
or oil.
Yeah, weapons or fossil. That's what you're. And not every industry can be like that. Look what happened to Hostess. Anyway, he has another question, and he asks, "What series or individual games should be brought back or properly rebooted?" Well, we could go on that for a long time. So everyone just name one.
Ooh, name one.
Brutal Legend.
There we go.
Brutal Legend. There you go.
Snatcher.
Speedball.
Snatcher. Well, okay, and I have to go back to this. I say it every time, but it never stops being true. Breath of Fire. Give me a modern Breath of Fire.
Yeah.
Well, I want a new Jet Moto, frankly.
Yeah. I'll agree with both of those 100%.
I said Speedball. Who remembers that on the Mega Drive? Oh,
I remember
I honestly
Speedball,
don't.
the terrible character for the Marvel Comics character from the 1970s.
No, there was there was actually it was a sports game, but it was called Speedball. And it was like watching Rollerball the movie, but you.
Oh,
I remember
God.
Speedballs from
And
Megadeth.
is the good thing?
No, the one with Jonathan E in it, not the one that they.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
2000. You know the one I'm on about.
Yeah, all right.
That one was kick-ass. Fucking brutal as well.
Okay,
Continuing.
here, how about this? Streets of Rage. There you go.
Yes, definitely.
Because we were talking about that earlier, so yeah, fuck yeah, Streets of Rage. Anybody disagree? Fuck
Man.
you. I'll have Axel come. No, the what was the little kid's name with the rollerblades? I
Skates.
forgot. All right, yeah, I'll have Skates come fuck you up, so it's extra demeaning.
Man, and that's another thing. There are certain genres this generation, even though this generation has progressed, particularly at the beginning of its life cycle, this console generation also has sort of killed certain genres completely. And it's
Shoot 'em
not
ups
just
and beat 'em
because of
ups.
it's not just because of 3D. And yeah, beat 'em ups are one of those genres. They have still not really. I mean, the closest thing I can think of is that TMNT game from 2007. It was kind of a 4-player beat 'em up.
They had what is it
X-Men
called?
Legends.
Sengoku Basara. I forget how you say it. It's based off of an anime, but it's not too bad. It plays a lot like Dynasty Warriors to beat 'em up, and there was also that Fist of the North Star game, which was also really good.
And Dynasty Warriors is kind of like that. A lot of those games seem to use Dynasty Warriors as their sort of prototype, but that's a hack and slash.
It is, but I mean, okay, you're not swinging a weapon, but you are just going around pummeling the fuck out of everybody left and right.
Yeah.
And
Or that
technically,
god-awful.
Splatterhouse too. That's like a beat 'em up.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But we need a traditional scrolling beat 'em up, though. We really do.
Well, yeah, it's called Double Dragon Neon, man. It's awesome.
No, there is one that's actually a downloadable game. I know, downloadable.
Well, what's that?
Shank. Shank and Shank
Oh,
2.
Shank, I have heard about
They are
that one.
fucking brilliant.
I played Shank, but the thing is, whenever it's a
Oh, God.
downloadable only game, its relevance by comparison to a full retail release is really obvious. Even when it's like a big hit online, it's just like, but if you were a full retail release, everybody would know about you.
Yeah.
So-
Well, no, there was that masterpiece of a Fist of the North Star game last year, right? There's that.
I mentioned, dude. Actually, I liked it, despite the fact
You're
that
insane.
I am insane. That's nothing. My mental stability
He's
should
a
not be called into
madman!
question.
Did they not tell you they let him out to do this podcast and the odd video on his channel?
Here's the thing. I'm a fan of Fist of the North Star. The game literally plays just like Dynasty Warriors, but you're just walking around, punching people, and exploding heads.
But it's
I'm cool with
so
that.
glitchy. It's so glitchy.
Dude, have you played Dynasty Warriors?
That's true. Okay, I stand correct.
I mean, legitimately, it's not a perfect game. It's really not. But the thing is, I played it and I just had a blast. No pun intended, because I talked about exploding heads. But
It's
it's
kind of
just,
sucks, but that's part of its charm.
yeah.
yeah. Look, I played a lot of games that they did have some fucking suckage just seeping out the sides, but I still enjoyed them despite all of their fucking flaws. And that was one of those games, except
It's
for that
true.
one
I
boss
guess I
battle
can't-
that made me mad.
I guess I can't talk. I am enjoying Venetica, so I don't have a leg to stand on right now. I'm like a pink flamingo in the front yard of a Southern gentleman.
With the white
So
picket.
is that all that we got for random shit that we want to have brought back?
Okay.
Yup.
I said my piece, Okay, well, then he has one more question. He says, what series would you like to see despite all odds? And in parentheses, it says, Call of Duty, I'm looking at you for influencing the downfall of the gaming industry. At the end, he says, P.S. It doesn't matter if you guys end up getting out of subject, as you tend to do while answering some questions. It is always more entertaining listening to the random stuff you guys end up talking about. Thank you. Keep being awesome and keep being metal. Well, thank you very much, Jeebus Crust. But what do we want to die? Everyone, start over.
Call of Duty. Call of
Kojima.
Duty, Battlefield, Halo, Quake, Doom, or anything first person shoot.
Can I just pick Activision? I pick
Can I-
Activision the game.
You know, can I say, and this is more of a mercy killing, Silent Hill.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you. I'm so glad you mentioned that.
Resident
Because,
Evil.
Or wait. How about this? Okay, how about we just have them change the fucking name since it isn't Silent Hill? Just
Oh,
change the
man.
name and just let them continue about their way as if it's a new IP, since it has been for years since
That
PS.
book of memories is just the nail in
No.
the nail in the
Don't
coffin.
say that. Do you realize that hurts in my loins when that's fucking?
There was a
Like-
there was a good horror series here. It's gone now.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact.
Right here.
Everybody that's listening right now, if you played Silent Hill, what if somebody told you after you played Silent Hill 1, 2, or 3, or even 4 for that matter, that once you were finished, the next one that they're going to make looks just like Diablo? But 50,000 times more retarded. Alrighty, there you go.
A dungeon crawler with worse graphics than
Yeah.
Diablo. Yeah.
It
Basically.
literally kills me inside to realize that something that was just like psychological horror has now just been boiled down to that.
and,
you can
and of course,
will about a
and-
lot of franchises, but they haven't ever taken a turn like that. That's just like a U-turn straight into a fucking semi.
And the argument that these people use, I get so tired of this shit. Jim Sterling was flapping his 5 chins about fucking how Silent Hill Book of Memories isn't hurting anyone. Yeah, it doesn't look like Silent Hill to me, but you've still got those games. Isn't that like saying, yeah, there's a Holocaust going on, but you've still got your family? It doesn't matter. It's still bad, and it still should be decried for being bad. And that's an extremely thin argument to defend it.
That's trying to put fucking frosting on a fucking shit muffin. Well, you don't have to eat it. And it's like, yeah, I don't have to eat it. That doesn't make it a good thing. It shouldn't exist. You're watering down a product that people enjoyed, and guess what? When you water it down so much, it either dies altogether and is forgotten, or it gets rebooted and becomes a fucking clusterfuck
Well,
mess.
it's like if you buy the same brand of pants over and over again, right? You're on your fourth pair of those pants, and then suddenly that company stops making pants and makes little booty shorts. It's like you don't have to buy them. You've got all your pants. You still have those. It doesn't stop those pants from existing. It's like, but I want to wear pants, and you're just making shorts.
I like to think that this is like the fucking go-to argument for fanboys that literally have no ground to stand on, or just hoping to God that they can fucking levitate.
There's no ground reinforced enough for Jim Sterling to stand on, but that's another story.
Yeah,
We don't have any until we invent titanium rebar. I'm afraid.
No greased doorways at the Hate Bit podcast for him.
We could always squeeze his pillowcase to get whale oil, but
No, we'll
Can
just
make that a limited edition collector set for a random game of our choosing.
yes.
Now we have to move the podcast to a warehouse just to accommodate him being a guest.
Oh, seriously,
You mean an
though?
abattoir?
Open the bay door. Sterling's here.
No, you need an
If
abattoir.
anybody is listening about this, and if you're even remotely interested in Book of Memories, right now, I want you to go get cleansed somewhere, anywhere, even if you're not religious, go to a church. I'm pretty sure that they can fucking, like, drown you in holy water or something.
Just do the backstroke in some holy water.
Yeah, because there's something wrong with you mentally. I'm usually not one to tell you to just flat out, this game will not be good without ever touching it, without ever playing it, and it's going to be shit no matter what. But I can tell you for a fucking fact, it has a Silent Hill name on it. And that enough right there, after you see one single goddamn motherfucking screenshot, says you should not go near it. It's like AIDS, but airborne. So don't go near it or breathe in.
It is airborne.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I just have no faith in the Silent Hill name anymore, so I'm glad I stopped at 3.
It's just such a shame because it's right after Downpour, and Downpour was genuinely good. It was a really good game, and it was kind of a return to form for the series, and then they take one step forward and then just 3 steps back with this piece of shit.
But isn't that what most game developers and publishers are doing nowadays? They make 1 or 2 good games and then they fuck it up by making a 3rd or a 4th, and it's the whole Mass Effect thing, really.
Here's the thing. Sequels don't make bad games, though. That's a thing. If you want to continue a series, that's absolutely fine. But if you decide that not only are you going to continue it, but you're going to reinvent it into something that makes no fucking sense, that's like taking Resident Evil and combining it with Cooking Mama, or taking Mario and no, Mario's been every single genre. What the fuck am I kidding? Except for RTS, I think. I don't think there's Mario RTS. But still, the point is, there's just some things you just don't fucking do. And this is one of them.
Anyways, continuing on. We ranted way too long about Silent Hill. But I believe it should be put down like Old Yeller.
Oh, Yeller, come back, Yeller, best doggone dog in the West.
Enough with the torch songs. Let's continue.
Well, hey, you calm down, man. I know you got a date and everything. That's all right. He's got places to be. He's an important guy, and he's busy.
Places to be and slags to beat.
And how?
With his
we're gonna get on our way. I have to read this next piece of email. You'll find out why in a second. This next piece of mail comes to us at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com from Jeffrey, which I think is a fantastic name.
Okay.
He could have been Jeffrey SR9555, but he was just Jeffrey, and I like that.
Well, as long as it's not Jeffrey Archer.
Well, that's true. And he says, "Hey, fellow cunt lovers. First of all, I would like to say you guys fucking rock. I love listening to the podcast. I got 2 questions for you all." He says, "One, as a 25-year-old, I witnessed the rise of the first generation of consoles." My God, you're old. He says, "The days when you played Mario Kart all day long at your friend's house, high on caffeine from soda. But nowadays, all the developers seem to forget that a good offline multiplayer fucking rocks. Almost every game has an online multiplayer now, but they usually suck. Do you think the developers need to make more offline multiplayers? And what is the game from your childhood that just kept on playing with your friends?" Well, I didn't have very many friends, as you might have noticed. And,
Well, yeah, you're the Slippy of the crew.
I know, right?
Yippee!
Yeah, everyone's got to come save me. But so yeah, I think it's crap that games don't have offline multiplayer available.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, as a matter of fact, I think the last game I really played offline multiplayer with lots of friends and had lots of fun was like all the way back in N64 land was probably Turok 2 Seeds of Evil. Probably the last.
Oh, that was so good.
Oh, that game was fantastic. But I think that's the last one, man. Maybe Perfect Dark if that came out after, I can't remember. But yeah. Not a lot of good offline multiplayer anymore.
That's true. He's got a
I
point.
think it's kind of sad that like nowadays, 90% of the time when you want to play co-op or if you want to play multiplayer, you better be connected to the internet. And most people will say, well, that's not a big deal. They just hop right online. And it's like, but don't you remember the original Xbox? Can you do that? No.
Oh,
But here's the
Dude,
nice thing about first Xbox is that they had offline multiplayer. They had 4-player split screen, and I remember playing Time Splitters like that because I thought it was fucking awesome. But nowadays, no, they don't have that option. They won't give you that option. 4-player? What the fuck does that mean?
The best thing about the original Xbox and those Halo games and stuff was that you could LAN it up with your Xboxes.
Yeah.
You could have LAN parties with Xboxes and just play. You wouldn't even have to do the split screen thing.
Dude,
It's pretty
LAN
fun.
parties are fucking awesome for consoles. And there's System Link also on PS1, which is weird to think about because it was such a long time ago. But I legitimately played Doom doing that because my friend had it, and I was like, let's try this out. It was fucking awesome, man. And you know, nowadays they can most definitely do that. I just feel like, you know, is this their way of backing us into a corner and selling us online passes, or are they just being lazy? Like, what the fuck is it? Why are you dicking over fans?
That's
I have
kind of
noticed.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, I just wanted to say what I have noticed is that the most, comprehensive, offline multiplayer support these days in any game is you play Call of Duty while your friend calls some dude in Illinois a faggot.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody
It's-
talks real gangster when they're playing a first-person shooter all of a sudden. You'd have a day-to-day conversation with them. All of a sudden they get on, they're like, yeah, bitch, yeah, why don't you suck my dick? And it's like, whoa, where did all of that come from?
Yeah, I know,
At
right?
the very least, though, it is a two-player experience if you think
You know what
about
I think? You know what I think could solve a lot of that is if mandatorily we had cameras fixed on your face and people could see you. Because nobody on this spinning cerulean orb can pretend that they are in any way, shape, or form gangsta when they're wearing those faggy little headsets.
Oh, no.
No one.
Yeah, it's
Dude,
like
you could have a throbbing cock in your ass and seem less faggy. Seriously, 'cause, like bright ass white, and they got the little bulb, the little like glance of a cock looking bulb coming out with the microphone.
What's the first thing you think of? Britney Spears, Madonna, Spice Girls.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, and Eddie Jackson from Queensryche, so.
Oh. Yeah.
And Rick Savage from Def Leppard.
Jeff Tate left. What the fuck?
Hey, there's one other thing that comes to mind is telemarketers.
Yes. And
How many badass telemarketers do you know of? Zero.
And we know how much assholes they suck.
Exactly.
Aww.
Yeah.
But no, legitimately, I miss offline experiences for the games because there's tons of Nintendo, Super Nintendo games. Beat 'em ups always come to mind when I think of offline, just playing a game with my friends and having fun. Nintendo 64, Dreamcast, and Xbox are the prime example of 4-player split screen goodness.
Oh,
They're just fucking
Mario
awesome
Kart
for that.
64 is one of the prime examples.
Power Stone on the Dreamcast.
Oh,
Dude, you want to know what's an awesome game? And for everybody listening right now, if you have not tried it, I shit you not, fucking give it a whirl. And it's by Capcom, too. And it's a licensed game. On Dreamcast, Spawn in the Demon's Hand, I think it's called.
Yes.
Okay, it's a multiplayer just fuck people up game. It is so goddamn fun. No kidding. Pick that shit up. If you're cheap, that's fine. The Dreamcast, you can fucking burn games and play them. So just do it that way if you're too fucking cheap.
Bomberman. That was another fun 4-player game.
Bomberman's the shit and a fun drinking game.
Yeah, play Bomberman 64.
Should play
Stop.
Bomberman on any system. Bomberman's on everything.
Oh, yes.
Everything. There's nothing that Bomberman is not on. It's fucking ridiculous.
Besides the PC Engine and Turbo Graphics, Bomberman was one of Hudson Soft's best games.
Besides the calling, of course.
And the Calling. I've not played the Calling yet.
And now they're gone. Unfortunately, Hudson Soft.
Hey, they're not completely dead. They're swallowed up by a bigger company who will probably just ignore all of their fucking intellectual properties. But
yeah, they're gonna go the way of Rare, basically.
Yeah, sat in the Avatar sweatshop.
I'll tell you this much. What I'll miss the most, the bee.
The bee.
I'll miss the bee. I'll miss that little fucking bee.
Yeah.
Cute little bastard.
But there's still
Let me know that there was quality under that game.
But there's a bigger tragedy to ensue at the moment. There's not going to be a Mylon Secret Castle 2.
Hey, there's gonna be no revival of the Adventure Island games, and that fucking makes me sad.
That makes me even sadder, yeah.
Adventure Island was the shit. There's people who are probably, what the fuck's Adventure Island?
Anyway,
Adventure Island's awesome.
what else has Jeffrey got to say?
That was all.
That was
we
all.
haven't. Yeah, that was it. But we have another piece of mail from AL Justice Zero, and he asks, with the fanfare over next gen, in quotations, capabilities, how long, in parentheses, if ever, do you guys think we'll have to see bare bones fighters? I assume he means realistic fighters. He says, Street Fighter, insert anything here, is the same Street Fighter we've seen decades ago. So how long until we get a this-gen fighter game where if I hit you in the back of the knee, you go down on the other knee and give me a chance to roundhouse kicking you in the jaw? And that was the end of the question.
Dude, they could do it right now.
They could.
But the thing is that I was thinking about that before I read it or out loud, and I thought that sounds horrible. Have you ever watched a real fight out in the street? Some dude gets to step on their foot, and then they punch him in the dick and hit him with an elbow, and that's it. And the guy lays there bleeding on the sidewalk.
I'll tell you the most realistic that you're going to get, and it's painfully obvious why they don't make it uber fucking realistic. Bushido Blade 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you're in the middle of this epic fucking battle. You know, we've all seen kung fu movies and shit, and then all of a sudden you just throw your sword, and that motherfucker drops dead. The end. That was it. And it's just like, wait, what?
That game was so good.
That game was fantastic. And
That required skill.
Although
if you were going to get good, you were gonna, like, I have to become countermaster.
The realism only goes up to a point, though, because you could block bullets with a sword. That was a little
it's not
stupid.
like it's impossible. There are those fucking
Yes!
badass dudes.
Yes,
I know
but-
I'm going out on a motherfucking limb and then some, like Peter Pan and shit, but I'm trying.
Oh.
Come on, man. I'm pretty sure Siegfried and Roy could dodge bullets, all right?
Oh.
But they can't dodge tigers.
No, well, you tell me somebody who can dodge a tiger.
Me, because I'm so awesome.
Oh,
I'm
because
trying to
you're
think of
fucking
somebody-
thousands of miles from where any of them would be.
Tigers
Yeah.
don't feel like
Yeah,
swimming.
I evade these tigers like a motherfucker way up here in Britain.
Way up on my.
I
on the top
even
of
go to the
F.
zoo and I even go to the zoo and grab my dick, motherfucking lion,
Oh,
and they don't do shit. Anyway, I don't know, man. That sounds awful to me. I mean, because I've seen like some gnarly fights, and there's no game to it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that, you know. Like I've seen people play the quote unquote mixed martial arts games, and those
Ugh.
look like shit, and I can't imagine it'd be the same thing, but just more blood and teeth flying everywhere.
I just like when they're more over the top. I want to escape reality and do shit that I can't, because if I want a realistic fight, then I just go to the bar.
But you
There
could
we
just
go.
walk in downtown Pittsburgh after 9.
Yeah,
Yeah,
technically. Well, no, it's not after 9. Downtown Pittsburgh shuts down at like 6 o'clock, so just be there around 6:30, and then you
Yeah.
can start getting into that.
Well,
So-
all I have to do is head on over to South Phoenix and speak English, and within 5 minutes, I will be a bleeding, dead, moldering corpse on the side of the road.
What did this motherfucker say?
well, why don't you go there that often then? Oh, I'm evil. No, I'm not evil.
What
I'm
did
just
this
good at it.
motherfucker say to me? He said he would like a napkin.
I'm offended.
Oh, he dead. Richard, get the fuck. This white boy want a napkin. Anyway, I just think that I still think a realistic fighting game would be horrible.
Yes, it'd be awful.
Anyway,
Like I said, though, Bushido blade is damn good.
Oh, I agree.
Like, if they made a Bushido blade where you could cut off arms and legs and shit, that'd be pretty cool.
Yes.
They did.
Yeah, but see, I'm not thinking of a fighting game in Japan. I'm thinking of a fighting game, you know, in like El Paso, Texas, at some bar called Curly's.
Yeah.
Crazy.
You know, awful stuff. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the Colostomy Bag. It's time for us to move into our main features. And first, I have to say, you know, Sainted Magnus put me up to this. Nintendo announced the 3DS XL, and to that I say, no, really, oh shit, you're serious, aren't you?
Yeah.
Sainted Magnus, what's going on?
Oh,
Right.
no.
Well, the lovely boffins at Nintendo have decided to make another 3DS, and a lot of people have already put their 2 cents about it. And I was waiting, especially for this podcast, to actually put my 2 cents in about it. And here's what I've got to say: what is the fucking point? Now, let me just point out some of the main differences. It's 90% bigger. That's what they've been saying in the advertising campaign. It's got a bigger screen. Well, duh. It's made out of like a matte plastic instead of a glossy plastic, so that's a good thing at least. The battery life has been increased, probably by about 30 seconds off the original fucking battery. And it's just another reason to fuck up your eyes. Am I going to go out and buy this thing? Fuck no. Fuck
What?
no. Why do I need to go out and buy a 3DS XL? There's no point.
I think it's mostly. It sounds to me like just an incremental upgrade for. Here's the thing: is it cheaper or is it more expensive?
It's $200 on release.
Okay,
It's
so more
$30 more than the version that they have out right now.
Okay, then this makes no sense. Because to me, if you do something like they did with the original DS, where they changed up the design, and they did the slim and whatnot, and it wound up flying off store shelves, that makes sense to me because it generally comes with a price drop too. But
Yeah.
this is the PSP route where you release the 9,000 and the 5,000, the same thing Atari did and completely destroyed themselves.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's a terrible, terrible idea.
Well, they already did it with the DSi XL, and I mean the big thing about it, like a lot of people are jacked off about it, which I completely understand. But it's really just good for people that wanted a bigger screen because it's literally like a whole fuck ton bigger. If you see them side by side, it's ginormous by comparison. The only thing is I keep hearing rumors of everybody saying that it doesn't include the charger for it.
Yeah, that's one of the things people have been saying. Because
is that true though? Because
that is true. That is true. It has been announced that they will not be giving you a power lead for it. Now, here's the logic behind that. Right? They feel that everybody's owned a DSi or a 3DS, and they just want to get a bigger screen for the 3DS. So they're assuming that you've got them. They're assuming you've got them already, so you're going to use the power cable off them.
Here's the thing. You want to know what? I made a video about this, but I didn't know about the power cord being missing. And here's my logic with that. If you were going to exclude something that's mandatory for the fucking thing to work, then it should be cheaper, not more expensive.
Exactly.
Okay, the fucking bigger screens is not that much of an upgrade to warrant the $30 additional, but you're getting stiffed on it. That's just fucked up. Again, anybody who's listening is like, Alpha, you made a video about that. I did, but genuinely, I didn't know about that fucking charger thing. That's fucked up.
It's just, I mean, once again, and I think this is the big problem. This is the reason why I'm against it. You wind up with brand confusion. With model confusion. You crowd the market with too many models of one system when it would be much more beneficial to your company to have just one or two models and not confuse the customer. The PS3 had this problem big time earlier on.
Yes, it did with
DS,
the 60, the 20, the 40, the 120.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned it before, but I worked at GameStop when the PS3 was launched, and it was hard when someone would say, I want to buy a PS3, which one should I get? And it was like, I'd have to go through the whole spiel of, well, this is the 20, this is the 40, this is the 60, you know. So it's like, it's important to have one core model and to have all the not confuse the consumer. Basically, that's all there is to it. You cannot confuse the consumer, because then your numbers are going to go straight down, and you have to be a connoisseur in order to get the fucking thing.
Yeah. Just going back to that power lead, just read down on a bit more on this report, right? It says here, while early reports tonight indicated the Japanese and the European versions of the system will not include an AC adapter, Nintendo of America have confirmed that the 3DS XL will include an AC adapter and a 4GB memory card.
Oh wait, so
it's favoritism.
okay, that's even more fucked. Okay, so you're going to give Americans the AC adapter and leave everybody else out in the fucking cold. How does that make sense?
Exactly. It comes in 3 colours though. At least the 3 colours it comes. It's like a sky blue, then there's like the traditional Mario red and a black. So.
Well, there is one thing, doesn't it have a matte finish on it?
Yeah, they're all matte finish consoles.
Well, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Oh, and Europe will be getting a silver option.
Yeah.
So go on, Kex. We can tell you're bulging at the eyeballs. You want to?
Yeah, you're gonna explode, dude.
It sounds like he's trying.
Somebody get the pin.
Hold on, you just open it up like the knot inside your belly button from the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Just.
I don't understand. I really don't think Nintendo's. It seems like Nintendo's currently being run by people who don't understand economics.
You mean Reggie Fils-Aimé?
Well, no, Reggie understands economics. He knows that he demands, and they keep bringing fish to him. Supply, demand. But is it just me, or does it seem like Nintendo, every single, not just like, company images used to grow over the course of year over year, for different campaigns. But it seems to me every single day I'm being reminded that Nintendo really wants to be Apple.
They do.
Because the 3DS XL, this whole thing reminds me of very similarly. For instance, if you've ever bought an Apple computer, they're all, whatever year they came out, they're all exactly the same. They just have bigger screens.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is. I don't understand. Now everyone says, well, they didn't give you another circle pad. Like, do you really fucking need another circle pad? You think Nintendo would know how to work with something as linear as a second circle pad?
Well, that's another thing that...
It seems like really simple concepts for Nintendo is just like, no, this will give us cancer. However, they do seem to shine at the innovative things. But this is not innovation. This sounds like this company is being completely pushed around by a bunch of old fucks who own stock in them and know nothing about what it is they're dealing with.
Yeah, it sounds...
You cannot manufacture creativity, is what I'm trying to say.
You know what it just sounds like to me? It probably won't cost them that much to produce this console. They're probably just out there... Because most of the parts are from the normal 3DS.
Yes.
All of them, with the exception of the screen and the button.
So it's not gonna cost them a whole bunch. So they're trying to make a quick buck. It's what it is. They're not expecting to sell these things to sell like gangbusters, but they're just expecting to be like, oh hey, here's a new thing. Then after the 3 days of hype dies down, oh well, we collected a nice chunk of change. We'll take that off the market.
I would like to think that's going to work for them, just to see that it did work, It's like, oh, hey, the people are still fucking stupid. That's good to know. That means that I'll have work for a good amount of time.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to point out, though, is that, yeah, it's all well and good giving us a bigger 3DS. But then what happens if you want to play games like, I don't know, Resident Evil Revelations or Kid Icarus Uprising if you're a left-handed gamer? You can't, because you can't use the peripherals that you need to play the fucking system.
Yeah, because catering to left-handers is not good business sense.
No, I'm just...
But they got a bigger... They have a bigger handheld without an additional circle pad.
Exactly.
And everybody's reasoning for why it's excluded is fucking asinine. They're saying, well, yeah, but then all the people who don't have it are absolutely screwed. And it's like, false. You're able to buy the fucking add-on. They would finally be implementing it so that you don't have to go and buy the additional accessory. Because, I mean, look at the original DS, look at the DS Lite, night and fucking day. Look at the regular Game Boy, look at the Game Boy Color, night and fucking day. Look at the Game Boy Advance, look at the SP, night and fucking day. It's a big time upgrade. This kind of shit happens all the time. Nintendo always does that with their fucking handhelds. But this time they didn't do much of an upgrade and kind of just look silly.
Well, here's my thing. When did Kid Icarus come out? Was that in March?
About March.
That was in March. Okay, March. 5 months later, they release a console that cannot play that game. Period. You have no secondary option.
Exactly.
Because it's not going to fit on that cute little fucking stand they gave you.
Nope.
Yeah, at this
Oh
point,
my
I mean,
God.
like I'd said this during the fucking video that I made for it, and I'll say it again. The only way that this is really going to work is if they make another Circle Pad Pro for this. That's the only way that this is really going to work out really
That's
well.
only to play like 4 games.
Well, I've got a more intelligent fucking decision idea for them. Give us the bigger screens, but give us the fucking second analog stick.
Yeah.
On the fucking console. Oh, and maybe like a little tab that drops out on the back of the console, so then we can actually have play. People can play Kid Icarus Uprising.
Wait a minute.
What
Here's a
happens to
quick
little
question.
simple solutions like that? There's plenty of fucking plastic that they could cut a little hole out and put a Circle Pad Pro in there. Have they not thought of these things? Fucking hell, Nintendo! You've been making consoles since the 70s. You should be able to do this by now. There we go.
Sanad, you said that you were looking up what was included and excluded from the Japanese, European, and American
Yeah.
versions of it. Is the 4 gigabyte memory card on the other versions outside of the American version?
They've not said.
See, that to me just won't make any fucking sense if you're gonna double stiff, which is gangbanging for all of those of you at home. If you're gonna double stiff two countries in general, okay, 2 big fucking regions of gaming, and only give it to one, that just doesn't make any sense to me. That's just fucking confusing.
No, it just seems like Nintendo have been sucking the fucking loopy juice, and they just seem to be making bad decisions right about now.
It just seems to me
U-
that Nintendo's going to do what Nintendo's going to do.
the Wii
That's
U,
the way it's always been.
yeah, but there's the Wii U, there's E3, now there's this. What the fuck's going on, Nintendo? Get a fucking grip, Jesus.
Well, also, in their defense, this is not the first time anyone's ever said that. A lot of people said that after the Wii, and then they subsequently set the world on fire. So who knows what's in store? But let's vote right now, because I'm voting this is a mistake.
Yeah, huge mistake.
Alpha?
Go on.
Alpha Megason, what do you think?
Oh, I thought Razor Fist was talking. That's why I was.
Oh, I
Razor
just
said
said
I.
I just said I.
There's nothing much you can say because we've pretty much beaten the
That's
fuck out of
really
it.
all that can be said. What I do know is these are going to be a bunch of pieces of plastic that could easily have been cut down into smaller pieces of plastic and made fucking games for this thing. But, what the hell do I know? Anyway, moving on. Oh, this is an important one. This is something I got to tell you. Peter Moore is a fucking moron. Razor Fist?
Really? Really?
Yeah.
It's a shock.
So he gave an interview this past week, and he didn't put his foot in his mouth so much as he devoured his entire leg. He just, every word, every syllable of every word in every sentence was just a fountain of gibbering retardation. And basically, he came out and said that, and this was the big one that caught headlines, he said microtransactions and nickel and diming should be in every game. And at one point in the interview, he literally used the phrase nickel and diming. And
What an idiot.
he was saying, allow me to quote him, "It may well be that there will be games that survive and they're $60 games, but I believe that the real growth is bringing billions of people into the industry and calling them gamers. Hardcore gamers won't like to hear this. They'll like to circle the wagons around what they believe is something they feel they helped build, and rightly so." He's basically playing class warfare with gamers, and then he's runs his mouth about how the future is in the future we'll give you one chapter of your game and then we'll sell you each subsequent chapter. Right, because that worked out well for Jurassic Park and all these other fucking games that came out recently. Those games just sold gangbusters. And all those episodes for Heavy Rain that were released, boy, those sold. Oh wait, they never came out.
Yeah.
Right.
Does
there
he
was
know
just-
how class warfare works?
I don't understand. But here's some. I've got some news for you, Peter Moore. All right, are you sitting Are you clenched? Yeah. There's no need for you to enact a policy of nickel and diming your customers because you're already planted firmly at the vanguard of that particular movement, all right? The only thing planted more firmly are your fucking hair plugs. This is like asking Keith Richards to experiment with narcotics. Motherfucker, he is a narcotic, all right? What? I don't understand. I think the fucking India ink from that temporary tattoo he got, the Halo one, you remember from E3 2006? I think it seeped into his little syphilitic chiclet brain. I think it fucking dead. That's really the only scientific
And now he has a
explanation.
deadly case of tikka masala.
So, I don't know.
I really don't think that Peter Moore understands how class warfare works.
No.
It's not, I mean, I don't know. Is Peter Moore a really rich man, like, you know, king shit of Asshole Mountain, or what?
No, he's just an asshole.
Because he's who is he again? He's what at EA? He's the chief executive officer?
He was formerly the big talking head at Microsoft, and then he took a job. He took a job with EA, and now he's the talking head at EA. Basically, he's John Riccitello without any power and a much bigger mouth.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want to talk about people being out of step with what's going on in the very industry that they claim to power.
Yeah.
My goodness.
I know what you're thinking. EA out of touch? What? Surely you jest.
I don't know what else can be said, but fuck this guy. No,
Nickel and diming, because you know that's going over really well with all the DLC right now.
Yep.
I mean, the DLC is just flying off the figurative shelves.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing. Nickel and diming works really well when you have a free-to-play MMORPG and you're charging people for fucking coloring their hair and making their costume look like, I don't know, a random anime character. That's all fine and good. That you want to go and do that because it's a free-to-play game and you want to make your money somehow, that's fine and fucking dandy. But when we go and shell out the money for a game and then we're paying for each individual little fucking random thing that shows up, you know what happens? No one buys your game and then you go out of business and then you're on the unemployment line while we're just sitting around going, I wonder what I'm going to play next.
Yep.
I've got an idea. You know how, like, on CDs when you would buy them, it used to be anyway, there'd be like quotes from critics from like Rolling Stone said this is a good album. I really think that all EA games now should be on the front cover stupid shit that Peter Moore says. Because people are going to read that and then they won't buy the game anymore.
Here, we could, you know what? Here, I'm going to fucking trademark this shit unless somebody else does it while listening to it. But anyway, I'm going to trademark the Hate Bit Podcast brings you the Peter Moore calendar.
That would be awesome.
Oh, yeah, just every single day, just flip it over, and there you go. Something new.
Get spit in the face every morning by Peter Moore.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
it
just
makes
every moment of this interview. I mean, just reading over this interview is hazardous to your fucking health. It's unbelievable.
I just find it disturbing that him and many others like him, that people will go, especially like the big game journalist, will go and take their opinion as like, you know, that is the future of gaming. I'm going to apply that to my opinion and then spread that to the masses who then in turn become retarded because they take random opinions and just say, that's a fact. Haha, I'm smarter already.
Somehow we're entering an era of mass hypnosis, it seems.
Mass retardation?
That's part of it too. But it seems that it's that way. These major figures figure they can change history by saying it so. Well, that's not how reality works.
Unfortunately, they still think that we're playing with cartridges when actually we're just we know what we want and we know what we don't want. It's just that
I think they're under the impression that we're just plant life, a higher form of plant life.
a higher plant life.
They're having a hard
Call of Duty gamers recently.
The only thing really that's dying, aside from the odd small market amazing game that deserves an audience and doesn't get one because it's not marketed properly and doesn't have a marketing budget, really the only thing that's dying off this console generation is shovelware.
Yay!
Because gamers have gotten more selective because they don't have as much money to throw around.
Yes.
So it's kind of that's at least is a beneficial byproduct of a bad economy. But I don't think they realize, like, they just want to blame the economy and blame the consumer, and it's guys, we're buying what we want to play, but we don't want to play much right now because you're releasing shit. That's basically the long and short of it.
Realistically, can you name one good fucking game this generation that actually changed the whole ideals of gaming?
Yeah, there were a bunch in the very beginning. I would say BioShock found a way to take...
The better question is, do you expect to see any more?
Yeah, that's a better question.
That's the real question, yeah. Like, at the beginning of the console generation, there was a lot of promise. A lot of games that were newer concepts, like Assassin's Creed, were still coming out, and now we're so deep into... We're fucking balls deep into this generation, and it's just... The steam is completely run out of the engine.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like looking at a V8 with no gasoline in it.
And that's how we wind up being impressed by things like a glorified tech demo like Watch Dogs.
Well, that's how we end up, movies or games being marketed as movies.
Oh, Christ.
Because you notice that most of these, AAA action titles now are simply action movies that no one could afford to make.
Well, Final Fantasy VII started all that shit, but I don't want to get into that right now.
No. We don't have that kind of time here on the Hate Bit Podcast.
Well, leave Final Fantasy VII alone. It's actually a good game in its own right.
But did it start that shit, or did it not?
It did start a big budget game. Yeah.
It was, in my opinion, Final Fantasy VII was not a triumph of game design. It was a triumph of marketing.
Was it the beginning of the end?
It was the beginning of the end in a lot of ways. But...
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, now that we're all sad, please, folks, remember, if you see Peter Moore, run! Run the other way, or he's going to say some stupid shit, and you will just have IQ points fall out of your head. Anyway.
No, how about you do this? If you see Peter Moore, take a shotgun and blow his head off. I don't care if it's murder. It's actually a public service. Also,
don't wear orange near him, or else he'll think you're Cheeto dust and try to consume you.
He will snort you through that huge nose of
unless you live in Great Britain, then you have to, what is it? You have to leave your house and inform the police and hide under a table? Is that what?
Yeah, it's called health and safety.
No, what you do is you crawl underneath the nearest car because they'll never get at you under there.
No, didn't
anyway.
Didn't they tell you there's an epidemic of obesity over here?
You don't have it. Well then you're a rail. You're in the clear. All the other obese people will be eaten by Peter Moore.
It's all that Marmite.
Yeah.
There's going to be a shipment of radioactive Marmite when Peter Moore's in Great Britain, and he's going to eat the Prime Minister.
Yay! Please do.
And then you will be ruled by EA. How would you like it then?
I will emigrate.
Anyway, there's something that needs to be addressed. Someone left a comment. Should I say who?
If you want.
YouTube user I'm the Druggernaut had the nerve to post a comment on the most recent podcast, number 12, Japan is on the Moon, where he said that the Hate Bit podcasts are the Star Fox of gaming or something like that. Hold on, let me get it here in front of me. If the Hate Bit podcast was Star Fox, he says Alpha Omegasin would be Fox, Razor Fist would be Falco, apparently because he's an asshole. Sainted Magnus would be Peppy because he looks and sounds older than the others. That's only because he's English.
Mm-hmm.
Sainted Magnus is actually Bill Gray, the dog that should have an English accent. And Yell Chaos would have to be Slippy. He says, don't get me wrong, I like Yell Chaos. Well, fuck you. But he says, but he is the most annoying in the group. I
like this guy already.
Yeah.
You like this guy already? Yeah, well, you're not going to like him very long because I'm going to break his fucking head off his shoulders and wipe his ass with his own scalp. Fuck you and anybody who looks like you. Anyway, at least you could have done give me General Pepper, you dickhead.
I have no idea who any of these characters are because I've never...
Exactly. Well, most people don't know who Star Fox is, so I guess I shouldn't be that upset. But I don't look like that frog, you dick face. God, you stuck-up douche nozzle. God damn it.
Shut up.
Boy.
If it makes you feel any better, I'm going to get stuck on a planet doing fetch quest for a couple hours.
There you go.
You know, You know, for a long time I thought Slippy was a chick, but now I've realized when I was watching Jurassic Park, some frogs do switch gender. So it's kind of the disparity between his voice from Star Fox 1 and Star Fox 64 is beginning to come into focus for me. What I don't understand is why they would.
Oh.
what I don't understand when they moved into the GameCube generation is why they made his voice even higher pitched. Like, you know what this game really needs is a character with an air raid siren for a vocal cord. Yeah.
Well, maybe.
You know, if he got into his ship and sat on his balls like Christopher Hewitt did.
Or maybe it's because, you know, people got that sick of him fucking saying do a barrel roll, they kicked him in the nuts.
No, that's Peppy. Peppy said do it.
I was gonna say, this could be a situation where Slippy has a mistress with some of the most intense stilettos ever, and it's just like, step on my little fucking frog balls, and there you go. Every time he talks, it just so happens to be awkward timing for everybody who's listening.
There you go. And by the way, if you're listening and you got some free time after the podcast, be sure and Google in that little bar on your right-hand side, rather, type in Christopher Hewitt and testicles.
What?
I have no idea.
That's terrible advice.
No, that's fabulous.
Never do that. As a matter of fact, never type in testicles.
Well, Christopher Hewitt was the British actor who played Mr. Belvedere. And at one point or another during a rehearsal, he sat on his own balls, which is hilarious. So read all about it somewhere on Google. Anyway, yeah, I am not Slippy. Fuck you and anybody who looks like you, smells like you, sounds like you, and future generations that bear your surname. Anyway, we move on. It's welcome to halftime, actually. Halftime, where we talk about whatever we want to talk about, and we go into the mailbag. So, anyway, that was a great first half. What do you think?
Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah.
I'd finger it. All
right. Okay, well, wasting no time, we'll jump into the Colostomy female bag, and our first question comes from Jeremiah CW5555, who says, "Hello, guys!"
Hello.
He says, "I think we can all agree that video gaming today is in the shithole. Kind of like what? Oh shit! I fucked that up.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
You're fired.
Fuck.
You
Anyway.
fucked up. You fucked up. You fucked up.
ECW. Anyway, where's my pizza? Let me see here. Kind of like what it was before the video game crash of 1983-1984, before Nintendo made everything all peachy keen again. Well, I guess that depends on who you ask." He says, "My first question is, would a video game crash nowadays rejuvenate the video game industry? No. A video game crash at this point will ultimately render the art form obsolete.
Yes.
I think it'll move over to indie development studios who still want to do it. But if a serious crash, absolute destructive crash ever came, Nintendo will go away, Sony would go back to making stereos for as long as people keep buying music, which is not long, and Microsoft will eventually be bought by Apple." That's not true, but
yeah, that's not true. They'd still be making computers, I guess.
They'd come out with Windows 9.5XX. I don't know. Anyway, what? Anybody else want to weigh in on that?
You're good.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's hard to say, because really the first video game crash, the only reason Nintendo reinvigorated the industry is that
was the second.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
83, 84 was the second.
Oh, yeah, second, but you know what I'm talking about.
Of course,
the only reason Nintendo reinvigorated the industry is because they found a different way to approach what Atari had done. And it was because the industry had to evolve to a new place. The only way the industry I could see something positive coming out of another video game crash is if somebody found a way to distribute or package the concept of a video game console or video games themselves in some sort of innovative fashion. It's really the only way I could see that being a positive. Otherwise,
that's the only way it would recover. They'd have to make it seem like it's something your house cannot be without.
Exactly. That's how the Nintendo wound up being successful. They first sold it as a children's toy, then it took off as a console, and then it was suddenly cool to be into video games again.
I think they made it mostly work because it looks like a VCR.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It doesn't seem foreign. Whereas it seems the machines that this, only a couple of years ago seem like mainstays in an entertainment center. You got your DVD player, you got your amplifier, you got your television, VCR for those of you that are old school, and you got the PlayStation or the Xbox or whatever. And that does, certain things. We watch Netflix on that. But it seems like with all the new innovations, they're pulling, without knowing it, pulling further away from the fan base they claim they're striving toward.
Well, but look, I'm going to slam Xbox's conference again from this year's E3. They didn't market it as a games console. They marketed it as an entertainment system.
Well,
That's
and you realize
that's always been the approach of both companies. They've always wanted to make it a big entertainment center, and it is cool. I mean, I know people who do nothing but watch Netflix on their Xbox 360s, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they didn't. The big problem was they didn't talk about any game system. But that's sort of beside the point. The real problem is the distribution of games themselves. I pray to God the next innovation is not cloud, because if we all move to cloud gaming services, we have officially relinquished what little property rights we had over video games themselves to begin with. I did a whole...
hey, don't ever tell that to all the people that support it. And they say, well, only collectors care about that. And it's just like, you must know next to fucking nothing. I
did a whole rant about this DLC. I did a DLC rant all about this.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. And,
shameless plug.
And by the way, buy a ShamWow. But but it's just, at that point we will have no physical right to own our medium or our actual, sorry.
You probably won't even own the goddamn hardware. There's probably some stipulation that you, like with Dish Network, how you have to return it upon their demand.
Yeah, exactly.
Sincerely, I wouldn't be surprised by something like that. We're renting more and more and more.
You are renting. DLC is rented, folks. Folks, the Xbox 360 is not going to be around forever, which means the Xbox Live's not going to be around forever. Guess what? You can't play this DLC unless Xbox Live validates it first. Okay? If you're not signed in, a lot of this DLC will not work. Patently. So you are renting that DLC. You paid $50.
There are people that assume that the internet is permanent, and that scares me.
Yeah, it's free.
I don't think people actually grasp the reality of the situation. Is that I have a stack of Nintendo games across from me that are from the 80s and 90s. They all work. All of them work. I may have to go and clean the contacts or blow dust out of the fucking cartridge to get that little fucker to work, but they work. And I have Xbox 360 games. Xbox 360, this gen, that I can't fucking play.
Yeah.
So that right there is a problem to me when there's games that are older than some of the fucking listeners right now. Work just fine, yet a game that just came out a couple years ago doesn't. That's fucked.
Like Chrome Hounds.
And not to mention those are games...
Dude, that's actually the game that I'm really fucking referring to, because I shit you not, I was excited to get home with that game. It only cost me like $3.
Yeah.
What do you know? $3. Granted, it's not a big waste of my fucking money, but come on, man. I spent $3 to have fun, and I can't play anything other than the training mode.
Yeah,
Yay.
Games like Chrome Hounds is a great fucking game, and it's a shame. Like, taking down servers for these old games, all this is a herald of what's going to happen down the road. You don't own these games, all right? If you bought MAG, I have some bad news for you. You know what I mean? Like, this is just bad news all around.
Oh yeah, I was shopping around today and I found a copy of Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 for the Xbox, and I said, "Wow, $6 is expensive for a coaster."
Yep. You can't.
Or Final Fantasy 11.
Oh god.
The Xbox 360. Although I don't know, are those servers still up? Probably. I don't know.
They're still up because they're releasing a new mission pack for it, or whatever they fucking call it. I can't remember the name of it. It doesn't really interest me, but
which believe it or not, I have played Final Fantasy 11 on the 360, and it's pretty good. It actually works pretty well. You just hook up a USB keyboard, any old USB keyboard. You don't have to buy the Xbox version. Go up to Radio Shack and buy one for $10. The game works just like a normal, whatever. It just instead of a mouse, you have a controller. So you got your keyboard and everything. It works pretty well.
And still costs you $10 a month.
Exactly, and which is utter BS considering you're already paying for Xbox Live. But that's another rant for another day.
Yeah.
It's just BS when that server goes down. Oh, great! I got a coaster. Awesome.
And the other thing that's kind of
and you get to buy it again.
Yeah.
There's people that'll go and try to defend it yet again. Another group of fucking village idiots will go and pretty much say, well, you know what? You're just complaining about this because you don't want things to change. Everything has to stay the same. You're just mad because you're like an old school gamer and you can't handle things that are out now. Here's a fucking news flash.
Shit like that?
If any of you motherfuckers even had a single goddamn ounce of common sense, I swear you'd probably have a fucking heart attack. It would fucking astound me to even see you be able to conjure a fucking thought that made half a fucking whit of sense. It fucking confuses me and baffles me that you think that this is just because I've been playing games longer than you have, or that any of us have been playing games longer than you have. How the fuck, you know, taking away our rights to own this fucking piece of gaming history validates them fucking just, oh yeah, you can't play that now. You can't play that at all.
Yeah.
We don't support that anymore. Oh, we lost the publishing rights. We have to take that down. It's not there anymore. Oh, hey, we patched the game. Now it doesn't function whatsoever.
Yeah.
Ha.
And not only that, but there are legal ramifications here too. Because if you look at the back of these video game boxes, and some of these games are still being sold new in grocery chains, in electronic stores, because they still have back catalog of them. They don't just throw them out. And if you look at the back of this thing, it'll say Xbox Live compatible, PSN compatible, and yet the servers have been taken down. That's what is referred to as false advertising, folks. And does this not constitute grounds for a lawsuit? You know what I mean? This is utter nonsense, and there's more and more games that are fitting this bill now. Thank God they didn't take down the Demon's Souls servers, but that would have been another example of what I'm talking about. Games that aren't even that old, and people are just taking the servers down because, we can't justify the cost.
Oh, and people have to fucking fight to have half this shit. I still feel bad for those fucking dudes who sat there playing Halo 2 on Xbox. Okay, because they didn't want the servers to go down. I forget how many days straight that they had this match going. They just kept going and going, and Microsoft applauded them for their effort, and then ultimately took it down. I mean, hundreds of thousands of fucking fans, okay, whether you love Halo or you don't, okay, is fucking irrelevant. Okay, there was tons of people applauding their effort, that they were doing this, that they were so fucking passionate about this one thing, and then it was just taken away regardless. What the fuck does that say? You don't matter. You'll never fucking matter. You already paid for the game. They got their money. Now be gone.
Yeah.
That's their fucking thought process, and that's what it's going to be furthermore. So, yay. Have fun.
Yep. That's a shame. Chaos, what have you got to say on the matter?
Fuck it.
Fair play.
You were channeling Rambo for a moment there.
Sorry,
That could
that's
be
Rocky.
Rocky.
I'm sorry.
Mm.
That was Rocky.
Oh, okay.
It's not over. It ain't over.
Never over.
That was Stallone when he was on the Ronnie and Nancy show. Yum.
Oh, Expendables 2. I want to see that. Anyway.
Who cares?
Me! I fucking love the first one.
It's got Chuck Norris in it. You should go and see it.
I don't even give a fuck.
Chuck Norris is a Bible-thumping ass clown.
It's Chuck Norris.
Here, okay, you want to know what? Chuck Norris didn't do shit. Bruce Lee beat the fuck out of him and ripped his chest hair out. He was like, fuck you.
However, Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door.
Yes. Chuck Norris can do a lot of things.
Bruce Lee was fucking paralyzed from the neck down, and the doctors were like, you'll never walk again. So then he was like, no. And then he started doing stuff again. They're like, oh, well, shit. That's kind of like the Chuck Norris jokes, except for you're a real-life version. Well, how about that?
I don't know. Let's be real here. Chuck Norris came back from having his chest hair ripped out. That's like the same thing.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. And see,
well,
Chuck...
when he got it pulled out, his beard got slightly shorter.
Oh, and he also can. You know that an episode of Walker Texas Ranger is going to end when he starts roundhouse kicking. So
Yes.
there you go.
It's true. No,
That's
you
great.
always know,
He
you
had
always-
he
There's
ends
a close up on his boots. You know, oh, we must be towards the end of the episode.
and you always know that you're about halfway through the episode when the black deputy who does all the actual work gets kidnapped.
I know, he must have
Well,
been kidnapped like 6 or 7 times, or, you know. USA
Happens
showed-
constantly. That dude just does not watch his back.
Dude, I'm telling you, he's the Princess Peach of
Has he
the
Tech this
fucking
before?
police.
No offense to anybody in Texas.
Yeah, we're not trying to offend you at all. We're just offending, the fact that that dude is a shitty cop and Chuck Norris doesn't know anything outside of punch, punch, roundhouse kick, repeat.
Well, anyway,
Grill
let's
beard.
spin deeper into the colostomy bag. We got one more piece of mail that comes from My Siskim 1, and he says, "Hey, 8-bit metalheads and video game hosts.
Hey there.
Sup, bitch?
I saw a trailer. I saw a trailer of a movie called Wreck-It Ralph. The cameos of different characters such as Bowser, Dr. Eggman, Robotnik, or one of the two, whichever suits the reader, Kano, Zangief, Paperboy, Bison, Noob, Qbert, and Chun-Li, as well as others from other franchises, are very nice touches. However, what additional characters would you hope to see from big retro titles in this movie? I'm not going to talk about that because I think there's enough. But my point is, this is a really neat idea for a movie that is going to be a total hunk of shit. I got to put that out right now. I'm sick and fucking tired of John C. Reilly. I'm sick and tired of fucking Jane Lynch. And and this is obviously Disney taking a swipe at what's, I guess, be considered a retro video game craze. You know, if Nintendo, if Disney's heard of it, we're fucked. You know that.
Yeah.
They're so high on top of the mountain that if they know about it, it's hackneyed, boring, and throwaway time. So I want to say that. Now, there's enough of them, but this movie should not happen, and it's going to be fucking insulting. Raise your fist.
Yeah. Yes. Sainted.
Right, we don't. I'm just gonna go no, and the reason being is because all video games that are movie based are shit, and vice versa. That's it.
I think
Alpha?
it sounds to me like a bunch of retro circle jerk bullshit. I'm getting so tired of these fucking skinny jeans bedecked dildos in fucking Portland and their fucking coffee houses swilling fucking Starbucks and pretending that retro shit from the 1980s is fucking fantastic. You know what I'm talking about?
iPads.
Like with the Carrie Edwards 04 sticker still on the side of their goddamn Razor scooter. These fuckheads. Anyways, I hate these motherfuckers.
Oh, they were.
I'm so tired of the Scott Pilgrim viewers of the world, ladies and gentlemen. These are the ones I'm referring
That's
to.
the ones
Yeah,
my
fucking
it's cool.
faggots. You know.
That's what this seems like to me. That's
Yeah, it is. It's fucking insulting. Much like the way that I feel that heavy metal is portrayed in the mainstream media. It's like, oh, aren't you cute? Let us, franchise you for a short while.
yeah. Oh, how quaint.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah. Alpha.
Wait.
I'll chime in and try to be different.
Can I say
Okay.
one thing before you do, Alpha?
Oh no, go for it.
Fuck you. Anyway, go on.
I'll try to be the different one out of the group. I saw the trailers for it. It's honestly an interesting concept. The only thing that I really called into question is if all the video game characters, if they're just making cameo appearances or if they are mainstays throughout the entire duration of the movie. Because I saw the Wreck-It Ralph character and everything, and I understand that he's, the star of the movie and whatnot. And it looks like it could be amusing. At the very least, I will watch it, which is saying something, because I don't really give a shit about most things that are released at any movie theater at all. But,
Yeah, but
I'll check it out
Toys
when it's
have
like on. I'll check it out on Netflix or something. But yeah, if it's good, I'll be happy. If it's bad, I won't be surprised. So I'll just put it that way. So that's my take.
But are you willing to spend the $12.50 to see it?
Well, movies here don't cost that much.
Oh,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, over in California, you have a thinking tax and a breathing tax on the movie.
We also have a shoe tax if you own shoes.
that's fucked.
That's why everyone wears sandals around here.
Yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
there's a levy on flip-flops.
Yeah.
Yeah, here in PA, we don't have tax on food or clothing, which is something I agree with. You
Oh,
shouldn't
we
tax
don't have tax on food. Let's not talk about this. You're gonna make me want to
Yeah.
put a gun in my mouth.
Yeah, everybody's gonna be like boring.
Yeah, I know. Fuck California. Fuck the entire United States. Back on to Disney clowning on us. Fuck them and anybody who looks like them.
Yeah, fuck this
So
movie.
anyway, if you have any questions at all for the Hate Bit Podcast, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget to like us on Facebook and check us out at our respective YouTube accounts. There's links down below in the description box. Anyway, that does it for halftime. Now we're going to talk about this. Razor Fist is making us talk about this, and much to the chagrin of Sainted Magnus. So what's up with the new Mass Effect 3 ending?
Oh boy, guys, it's
God.
coming out on June 26th, and by new ending, I mean an ending at all. So that because the first the actual final retail product just flat out didn't have an ending. It just literally, well, I guess if
stopped.
it did. It basically came to an abrupt end. It was like, okay, stuff happened. But yeah, so you can get it, and it is to BioWare's credit, it is free. It is 100% gratis, but it's made by BioWare, and it's from the last 2 years. So be careful what you wish for. That's all I'll say on the subject.
I mean, at the very least, it's free. So no matter what, if it's shit, if it's golden, whatever, at the least it's free. It didn't fucking cost anything, so that at least can alleviate some of the annoyances about it.
Yeah. It's just, at least they're making an effort to rectify it, but it's just, the way they've talked in interviews of late, it sounded distinctly like they have absolutely no plans to roll back the utter bullshittery that comprises that pseudo-ending they slapped on the end of Mass Effect 3. So I really don't see... I think people hoping for a genuine reveal here are going to go home wildly disappointed. I really don't think you should be holding your breath for anything spectacular here. Because I think, honestly, it's called the extended cut, and I think that's really what it is. You're going to see some deleted scenes, and that's it. I really don't think it's more than that. But anyways. Did no one else here play Mass Effect 3? Why the fuck don't you have anything to say, fuckhead?
Wait, me? I said something. I'm the only fuckhead that I know of.
Yell Chaos? What? You did not play Mass Effect? Of course you didn't.
That's Dr. Fuckhead, thank you very much. And
he has the PhDs, don't you know?
Right.
It just... That game never intrigued me, so I really don't have anything to say on it, I mean, I think it's bullshit that they fucking caved because all the fans got upset.
Well, I don't think it's bullshit the fans got upset at all. I think it's...
No, I don't... I'm not talking about the fans. The fans, you can make your peace known, and I'm happy for you, but I'm pissed that they caved. It's just that you should have stood up, dropped your trousers, said, "This is my dick, and these are my fucking balls. How do you like that?"
Well, see, if you had played the game, you would have seen that the entire game is one protracted episode of "Here's my dick, here's my balls, suck on it." That's pretty much all BioWare did.
Well, then how can you really fault them,
I kind of agree with you in the sense that I think it's a terrible game, and a terrible game deserves a terrible ending. And in that sense, Mass Effect 3 is a complete product. So it didn't need to be.
It's sometimes it's good to be a stick in the mud, just to show that Actually, now that I think about it, that's kind of got us where we are. I need to really, really question my entire life choice thing.
Well, it's not a choice. You're born that way, Yell Chaos. It's not.
I know, but that's not the issue. Hey. Anyway, so whatever. Does anybody else have anything to say about it, or can we move on?
Did you play Mass Effect 3, man?
I've played 1, I've played 2, and I weren't impressed with 2 as much as I was with 1, so 3 I thought, fuck it.
Smart man. Smart man.
There you go.
You dodged a massive bullet.
A massive Mass Effect
Coming
bullet.
away from Phoenix, Arizona. All right, well, there was a new Mass Effect 3 ending, so you can get it free from, is it BioWare Studios?
Yeah, from BioWare on
So,
June 26th. So
June 26th. If you got it, go get it. And if
Oh,
you
by
don't
the
like it,
way,
come
it'll be
fucking
June
crying to
7th
me.
when this drops, so it'll be yesterday.
Well, shut up, dude.
Oh, shut up yourself.
Anyway, well, then by now it's already out, so you know what? Go fucking get it.
I don't
Yeah.
buy it.
And if you don't like it, don't come crying to me. Anyway, now here's something that Saint and Magnus and I have been talking about over the course of the last few days. Namco Bandai will apparently be handling the brand new Smash Brothers sequel for the Wii U. What did you have to say about this, Saint and Magnus? How do you feel? What do you think?
Right, well, considering the recent successes with with Tekken 6 and Soul Calibur 5 and Street Fighter Cross Tekken, which they had the little mitts on, and God knows what they're going to do with Tekken Cross Street Fighter. Oh God! Apparently, it's got two other people on this project. They've got director Yoshito Higekuchi. I can't fucking pronounce his name. He's from Tales of Vesperia fucking fame. And
I don't know. That's a good thing in my book.
and they've got a producer called Kenya Kobayashi from Ridge Racers. So we could actually have something there.
It's good to see Namco.
Kenya's in Africa.
Yes.
It's good to see Namco stepping outside of their Japanese homeland comfort zone for their developers.
Yeah. So
anyways.
it could be something good. It could be something bad. It's just one of those things that we're going to have to actually sit back and just see what happens. But it's going to be released on the Wii U and the 3DS, so maybe some cross-play connectivity here. It's just a...
I just hate that when the same game appears on the handheld as appears on the home console.
Well,
But Namco's handling it, guys. I liked Star Fox Command, but I think most people took issue with the fact that Namco made a first-party Nintendo title, and then they're going to do it again.
yeah.
I don't know.
Well,
Not so sure about it.
yeah. Well, it's one of those you just gotta sit back and see what happens.
I'll tell you one thing. It's no PlayStation All Stars, Sainted.
No. Actually, can I just point something out? Like Wipeout. That's a first-party, PlayStation title. They actually did good with it for once. One thing that I was pretty impressed with. I've got the PlayStation Vita version of Wipeout 2048, right?
Yeah.
What they did, I've also got Wipeout HD Fury on the PS3. If you've got that game tethered to your, you got some trophies from that game on your PSN account, you get the free DLC packets for Wipeout 2048 on the Vita. I downloaded it. It's all the ships from the PS3 game, which is fantastic.
Like the thing they did with Dragon Age Origins and the Blood Dragon armor in Mass Effect 2.
Exactly.
Okay, yeah, same deal. But that's kind of cool.
Yeah,
Kind of cool.
So if they're going to do something similar to along those lines, maybe that could work out really well. Like, I don't know, maybe some Wii U specific, characters and some 3DS specific title.
They're going to work in Pac-Man and think they're really fucking clever.
Oh yeah.
No, the big feature that's exciting me about PlayStation All Stars is this new feature called an off button.
Yeah, yeah. I must admit, I'm not overly impressed about the PlayStation, Smash Brothers, because it doesn't really do anything for me. So.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't really do anything for anybody, so there you go.
Well, I don't know when you can actually kill Kratos as the Fat Princess. Yeah.
It won't do any good if you can't kill the entire God of War franchise along with him.
Can't run with God of War.
There's another mercy killing.
Kill everyone with a canteen.
I think they should have stopped at 3 personally, though.
Yes.
My point of view really is, I think now while Namco Bandai handling a seminal title like Smash Brothers, there's that. That's that intrigues me. Is like I mean, I like Star Fox Command too, so that's what makes me give them a little bit of credit. But at the same time, I wonder.
Assault, not Command. Sorry, had to.
But my favorite thing of this whole ordeal is I really don't see Smash Brothers as being this great. I think it's only great big game because Nintendo says it's a great big game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
It's I mean I like the game, but I do not see why it is just the end all be all party fighter game.
Super Smash, well, it's got a big tournament fighting community for some inexplicable reason. I have no idea why. When I used to be a manager at a comic book store, we used to have Super Smash Brothers tournaments at all the different stores, and they'd get a bigger turnout than Street Fighter, Alpha 3 or Super Street Fighter 2 or any of these
Insert
big
your version here.
Yeah. Super Street Fighter Turbo X Ultra. Yeah. Well,
Hyper Jewish kosher pork sandwich.
Deluxe Director's Cut Version Edition. Anyway.
Special limited asterisk.
So, but it has a legit community, man. There's a lot of people that play Super Smash Brothers. I don't know why, but it does.
Well, good for them. I just, I really think that Smash Brothers is. I don't understand. I don't get it. I mean, I like it, but I don't see it as this massive thing like.
There's nothing to get, man. It's a video game, not a detonator.
What? I just
Oh.
don't understand a cult following, But I guess you're not supposed to understand a cult following. I'm just completely off topic. Anyway, I think that's all we have to say about.
In other news, the new Cult album really sucks dick. Continue.
That is
You
all.
lie. Yeah, not to mention, never mind. I was going to talk about everybody in metal's getting slow, but that's another story for another time. And it's all old news.
I didn't get to
gang,
chime in.
Yeah, let Alpha chime in.
Yeah, what's Alpha? What the fuck? You're sitting there with your thumb up your ass.
Oh no, I didn't want to interrupt anybody.
He's
It's-
they make
there-
macaroni and cheese.
No, I wish. I'm probably gonna grub after this whole thing, but there is one good thing that I'll definitely note. I'm honestly kind of looking forward to this for one major reason. Anytime that Nintendo has handed off a franchise, with the exception of one game, which I will bring up, like if they had a third party come in and develop while they oversaw it, it always turned out really, really good. We had it with F-Zero, we had it with Star Fox, we had it with Legend of Zelda. Those three come to mind, were all handled by big companies and always turned out really well. The only time that I thought was a misstep was with Other M for Metroid. That was the only one that I thought was a mess up. But beyond that, it's always turned out really good. I think that
Don't tell that to Movie Bop, the Game Over thing. He loved that game. He loved it even.
Yeah, I could. So
Yeah, he's a big Ninja Gaiden fan too.
If he liked it, I can only assume the disc is edible, but that's another story.
Ooh.
But with this, at the very least, they've got some talent that are well versed within fighting games. So they're not just bringing in people who are just like, "What the fuck is a fighting game?" And they're trying to take a crack at it. So this could breathe new life into it. I hope that they don't stray too far from it, so they don't alienate their entire pre-existing fan base. But I hope that they do make it even better. I want it to be a bigger, more badass game. And for the love of fucking shit, and I think that everybody who's ever played Smash Brothers can agree here, I hope that they play test the living fuck out of this before releasing it, so we don't have cheap-ass characters, Meta Knight, absolutely destroying everybody to the point that if you're playing him, you pretty much lost. So yeah, I'd like that to happen. So that's
I think if expert fighting game developers like Capcom still can't get that right, which they can't, because anybody who played Sagat in Street Fighter 4 in the original Street Fighter 4 had a decided advantage, and Marvel Capcom 3 don't even get me fucking started. But I mean, if they can't get it right, Nintendo's not exactly a fighting game developer.
There's one major reason why it has me kind of worried, and it's because of examples like the last Super Smash Brothers and with Mario Kart. They were aware of the problems and for the longest time just refused to bother with them. They even acknowledged we're aware that it's there. Yep. And are you going to fix it? No. We have no plans as of right now. And that to me was just fucked up on so many levels I couldn't comprehend. Like you're aware that a game that's played competitively is flawed beyond understanding, and that you can fix it with relative ease, and it's going to cost you like nothing to do, really. But one dude going in and finding the problem, which it's already been play tested, so you already know where you need to go within the data to go and fix that little bit of information, and you refuse to do it. That's called being an asshole.
In a way, it's a match made. Oh, I'm sorry. Continue.
No, I was just saying that's pretty much it. I just hope that they don't do something like that and they're not an asshole about it. But yeah.
Yeah, in a way, it's a match made in heaven because Namco has made a career out of doing that. Like when Soul Calibur 4 came out and everybody was like, wow, this isn't playing so good. You should probably fix this, and this. And Namco was like, Baka Gaijin, shut your mouth. You know, we're going to release this game. It doesn't matter. They did the same thing with Soul Calibur 5, and they did the same thing with Tekken 6. They do it every single time. Namco is one of the most arrogant game studios I've ever come across, and now they're gonna team up with Nintendo, who has a history of doing the same thing. This is bad news. So
I mean, the very best that we can do. If anybody's excited about it, just cross your fingers and hope for the best. I mean, I'm hopeful, but I just don't want to see them repeat the same shit that's just made fans angry. You know,
just hope that Namco, the building at Namco, catches fire, and they have to stop what they're doing and patch it up to somebody else.
Yeah, but
they can't go 12 goddamn minutes without a major earthquake, so maybe.
But I like fighting games. I like Namco fighting games. I like Capcom fighting games. Hell, I even like the ones that Nintendo thrown out. You know, the Smash Brothers.
Yeah.
But is this going to work? I'll watch what's going to happen with it. Am I going to pick it up? That depends on what the Wii U's priced over here and if it's going to be worth actually buying.
Can we go a week without talking about the Wii U, or I'm going to try and fucking electrocute myself?
And we'll talk about the Wii U next week.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, so we'll have more for you as the Namco Bandai handling the Smash Brothers and whether or not their building might catch fire after an earthquake. We'll let you know as that story unfolds. But hey, we're working on a new segment here on the 8-Bit Podcast. As of right now, we're calling it the 8-Bit Retrospective. And we're going to talk about some games, game series, whatever, that we're feeling nostalgic about. And for you young kids out there, there may be games that you've never heard of. We're going to talk about them. Then you're going to look them up on... Try it again. You're going to look them up on Google, right? And then you go to eBay.com and you're going to punch them in. You're going to pay way too much for this game. But the point is, you'll be exposed to it. So that's what we're hoping to do right now. And by the way, I'm going to say this. I haven't talked this over with the boys at all, but I think we're going to have a contest or something. If you can think of a great name for the 8-Bit Retrospective series, please drop us a line at 8bitpodcast@gmail.com. Leave us a comment down below, or you can even hit us up on the Facebook. Anyway, today...
If you think that sounds like we're passing what should be our work on to you, congratulations on being perceptive, fuckhead. Now go back, put your nose back to the grindstone, bitch, and crank us out a title. So continue.
You're not supposed to tell them that, goddammit.
The Easter Bunny is not real, and neither is Santa Claus.
Damn you! The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie.
We're destroying dreams of all sorts of people left and right now.
Yeah.
Yes, but we're also shattering delusions of grandeur in the process.
That's good.
Back into the left. Sorry.
Right.
Tighter, faster, harder. Anyway.
What's next?
Well, we're talking about a very nostalgic favored game series, and this does coincide with the announcement of, and that's what brought it up actually, the announcement of the cancellation or postponement of the more recent Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie being helmed by Michael Bay. So we're going to talk about... What?
Sorry, I just had to scream, yes!
Oh, sorry. I thought you'd become a Muslim for a moment. Anyway.
Sorry.
We're talking... You forgot it. Anyway. We're talking about the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, if you hadn't guessed already. My God, somebody's going to jail.
Yeah, you.
So, Razorfist is the one that came up with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so I think Razorfist should give us a push, Razorfist.
Well, basically, I want to talk about, I think what we should do is go over and talk about, because the Ninja Turtles in video games go together like peas and carrots. So as far as I'm concerned, TMNT is just perfect for video games. There have been some great Ninja Turtles video games, and particularly in recent years, there have been some not so great Ninja Turtles video games. I want to go around the table and talk about what the fuck the best Ninja Turtles game is and what's the worst. As far as I'm concerned, I really, really think nothing will ever top, for the original NES, Ninja Turtles 3, The Manhattan Project, because it's the shit, and it's the perfect co-op beat 'em up and just fucking awesome. I don't know. What about you guys?
It's an all-around better game than the other ones that had been released on the system
Way
previously.
better. You had the special moves, and you had the full-on life bar, and all that good stuff. It was like the Ninja Turtles arcade, but way more robust.
For me, it had to be the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the arcade game. But that game was best when played with one or more players on an original cabinet. I've since seen those machines in like a multicade or a MAME cabinet, and they stink. For some reason, that particular machine just felt right. Because it had the knob as opposed to the elongated shaft, if you for lack of better terminology.
I don't like where this is going, yo. Okay?
Penis.
Just that game, everything was right about it. There was enough spacing. This is before everybody in the United States weighed 275 pounds. But you could get you and all your friends on there and just tear it up and just have a great time. The original arcade game was fabulous.
Fuck yeah, dude. That game was freaking great. I remember just chilling, like we were talking about last episode where we were talking about arcades and shit. Just there's nothing like being freaking 8 years old and playing Ninja Turtles the arcade at like a pizza joint, waiting for your pizza to be ready. Like it's just like the perfect. You're in the middle of this arcade. It's just fantastic. Best childhood memories in the world. But anyway,
what's funny for our younger listeners, they don't know, guys. You're not going to believe this. There was a time when video games were fun, and you could go places and play games and have fun.
I know.
The thing is, like, there's another thing for everybody listening. If you didn't grow up like through the 80s and like the very early 90s, you might not be able to comprehend like how big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles really was. I mean, this enveloped our lives.
Yeah, it was you went on the playground at recess, played Ninja Turtles. You went home and played Ninja Turtles video games. You got dress-up sets of Ninja Turtles. I mean, fuck! I got the little. You remember the dress-up set where you could you had the Michelangelo headband and it had the little Ninja Turtle mouth on the end.
Yes.
Like that, and it came with nunchucks. That was the shit. Anyway,
I still remember my one Halloween costume. Well, no, there's two different Halloween costumes, 2 different years, but I was Michelangelo each time because that was my favorite Ninja Turtle. And the one year, the shell was like a hard plastic one, kind of like the cheap mask that you get at Kmart and shit. They had that was what the shell was made out of. So all you had to do was just like turn around or fart, or the wind blows suddenly and it cracks everywhere. And then there was the one that was made of foam, and it just looked like shit. Like it's one of those things you would just have to see it. It looked like complete fucking balls, and I did not enjoy either of them, and I felt dumb. And I was a Ninja Turtle fan, and I felt dumb wearing it, and I thought I'd be cool. Such a shame.
Yep. Man, the Ninja Turtles costumes were never good. Am I wrong? Like,
oh no, all of them were fucking garbage, dude.
They were terrible. Like the best one I ever saw, and this is just flat out sad, was like this one you could get at freaking McFrugal's or Big Lots or whatever the fuck it's called over there, and it was like
Pick and Save.
It was like Pick and Save, dude. And it was like that padding that you put in like egg crates. Like on the front for the front shell, and then on the back it was just like the cheapest like paper mache type crap, and they sold this in stores to children for probably like $30.
Shit, that sucks. I remember when I was a kid, my brother wanted to be a Ninja Turtle, and we couldn't figure out how to make the shell. Me and my dad made this chest plate out of cardboard, and we couldn't figure out how to make the shell. We're like, wait a minute. And we went to Home Depot and just bought a Brute trash can lid. And it was the perfect size.
Yes.
What we did is we wrapped it around, those big 5-gallon cans of paint?
Yeah.
We wrapped one of those with bungee cable until it formed like a taco shell. And he put it on and it fit perfectly. It was great. So for those creative types that are doing your cosplay, please help yourself to the trash can lid Ninja Turtle shell.
Here's one thing that I can actually throw out there. I think the only person who might remember is Chaos. Yo, Chaos, do you remember that picture I showed you? I was like, I think 5, and it has me wearing the black robe.
With a black robe. Wait, which one?
I'm wearing a black robe, and I have a Ninja Turtle headband on.
Yeah, you're sitting in the chair by the fireplace.
Yeah. Dude, that right there, I'm wearing a Ninja Turtle headband, a Ninja Turtle bathrobe, with Ninja Turtle fucking slippers, and a Ninja Turtle shirt on. It was Ninja Turtle everything or bust.
Oh, yeah.
There was no going back. My parents, they understood.
Your parents were broke.
Dude, they were just like, hey, we're going to get him something. Well, it has to be Ninja Turtle, or else he won't want it at all. He'll probably light it on fire. So, yeah. Ninja Turtles, fucking, oh my god. Absolute nostalgia boner, man. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be talking about the games. Har.
Yeah, what about Sainted? What game was your favorite, man?
Ooh, I'd have to say the actual arcade game on the NES, because that was a fun game.
Yeah.
Although I didn't.
Ninja Turtles 2, then. The one with all the Pizza Hut viral marketing?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I must that was the Manhattan Project. It was heavier.
I must admit, yeah, I'm going to get slammed for this one, but I did actually enjoy the original one. Even though it was hard as balls and it didn't really have any relevance to the actual series, it was actually a fun game.
Well, that's a different kind of hard, though. That game was not hard in that challenge was built into it, but more hard in that it felt like the developer hated you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really did. I could get past the dam, and by the way, the day I passed the dam for the first time, I was like, holy fuck, I am king shit of the world.
It was Miller time, wasn't it?
It really was. I'm like 5 years old, like, I deserve a beer. But anyways, I could get past the dam pretty consistently, but after that, it all fell apart. The little steamrollers are running around, and I'm like, oh god, what do I have to do now? I think one time, I don't think I ever got to Shredder on that game. I don't think I ever did. But yeah, anyways, that
even if you did, man, did you see the Technodrome?
Oh.
I don't think so.
Dude, I swear, it's like just mass fucking chaos. Okay, the Technodrome, as everybody knows, is the gigantic fucking thing that they went and drove around underground, and it was a fucking monster of a machine. It was fucking insane. Well, you're one lone Ninja Turtle trying to fight this thing, and it's shooting shit everywhere. Enemies are flying out of the fucking thing like it's a fucking popcorn machine, and it's just like I never actually fought it myself because I could never get that far, but I shit you not, watching it scared me. I'm not intimidated by much, but watching the video made me feel like less of a man. I was like, oh, I can't fuck with that. It was fucking scary. Like, that's survival horror right there.
Technodrome is nothing to fuck around with. And then it's so sad because then when you get to the end of the game, that apparently Shredder is the easiest boss in the whole game. Like, apparently he's just a total pussy. He just runs forward at you the whole time. Like, that's it.
Spoiler alert.
That's kind of like Cheatman 2, isn't it? With that boss that just keeps running at you.
Except for you can't glitch jump through the entire fucking game.
No.
Yeah. And speaking of which, while we're on the subject of Ninja Turtles 2, to move on to the next topic, the worst game is Ninja Turtles 1 for the NES, as far as I'm concerned. It's terrible. I still have nostalgia love for it, because I think it was the first game I owned for the NES. That and I got that and Manhattan Project at the same time. But, it was pretty awful in retrospect.
I want to go and chime in with my... Oh, here, I didn't actually get to say my favorite at all.
No.
Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Turtles in Time for Super Nintendo is my all-time favorite.
Yeah!
I know somebody
that game
mentioned that.
It literally was fucking arcade perfection as far as I was concerned. Fucking amazing ass game. If you haven't played it, do yourself a favor. Also, Tournament Fighters, amazing fighting game.
Oh man, why didn't I say that?
Dude, Tournament Fighters is the shit. I understand, but we all got our Ninja Turtle games, so you run around, they're all beat 'em ups, but Tournament Fighters was just fucking awesome. I don't know how.
Was it better on the Genesis or better on the Super?
Way better on Super.
Honest, I never even played it on Super. I never played it once. I always played on. I had a Super Nintendo growing up, but my friends all had Sega Genesis, and I always played at their house, and I never got to own the physical copy of it, so I never got to try it. 28 years old and still haven't gone to try it. But
Get on eBay.
The worst, and I'll tell everybody this flat out right now, and anybody can disagree. I don't fucking care. It's that fucking Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reshelled. It's the fucking graphical remake, and I shit you not, I wanted to fucking flip out. I bought the game. I spent my hard-earned fucking money, okay? Go to fucking work. I earned my bullshit paycheck. I bought that game so goddamn excited, because I was like, cool, a fucking upgraded version. It's fucking garbage. I would literally rather play with the turds in my fucking cat's cat box. It fucking sucks.
Now, I've heard so many people bash that game. I have never bought it. I planned on it, but after everybody just did the big dog pile on it. What is wrong with it? Is it the hitboxes? What is it?
One, it's the fucking hit detection. It's way off. Okay, in a beat 'em up, if your hit detection's off, you don't have a game. Plain and simple, you don't have a game. And that was the first thing I was encountering left and right is, okay, it's a side-scrolling game, but you can move up and down, left and right. Well, tons of times it seems like you should be hitting somebody, even when your fucking shadow, your shadow, which is important in a beat 'em up, is lined up. You're still fucking missing, swinging through shit. I'm like, okay. The jumping feels off. I can't explain it. It's one of those things that if you come across a control problem, you don't know how to tell somebody about it. It's just off. Well, the jumping is way off. I don't know what the fuck it is. It's garbage. So, shoddy hit detection and jumping, which is important in a beat 'em up like this. Yeah, that right there, deal breaker. Fuck that game. It can get buried with ET.
Yes.
Yeah. ET, much like the original Ninja Turtles, is not as bad as everyone says it is.
Oh, well. There's one
I thought
DS which is pretty good, but I can't remember the name of it.
But what is the worst game, Saint and Magnus?
In my opinion?
Yes, in your opinion.
I'd have to go with that reshelled, because I have actually played it.
God.
So.
Here's a question. Did you guys ever play the newer ones based off the newer version of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on
they're genuinely good. They are good, sort of deep hack and slash kind of beat 'em ups. They're good games, actually. They're
really good. Even though I didn't get very into the show because I didn't watch enough episodes, I liked it. I thought it was pretty decent. But
the show was damn good. I actually think that show. Look, I mean, I love the original cartoon. I have it all on DVD. But the new show from 2004 is better, much better.
That's because it follows the comics a lot more closely.
It follows the comics 1,000 times better.
Who's watched the movie though? The TMNT from 2007.
Very good movie, actually. Yeah, I have that too. It's not half bad. But I'm just glad the new one got killed. That's all I'm. That's all I care.
Like who are tuning in right now probably breathed a big fucking sigh of relief when that was announced. Even the people who aren't big Ninja Turtle fans know Michael Bay plus Ninja Turtles equals catastrophe and mass genocide on a global scale.
No, just Michael Bay plus everything. Plus anything, actually, sorry.
Michael Bay plus a budget equals bad.
No, it just means epic movie that nobody actually wants to watch anymore.
All visuals and no substance.
Moving on.
I'm gonna have to agree with Razor Fist. Yeah, the one from the NES does suck, but overall, it's still not the worst game in the entire world.
No, that's true.
Oh, it's not the worst game in the entire world. That much I'll definitely say. It's just the game is so fucking intimidating.
Compared to other Ninja Turtle games, however, that's its trouble. It's being compared against every other game, which was at least halfway decent. It kind of buries it a bit.
I would say Tournament Fighters for the NES. The NES version of Tournament Fighters was pretty ass.
Oh well, that doesn't even count. That's
it does exist, and it's a shame too because it's the only version where you can play as Casey Jones and Master Splinter. Yeah, there are characters in that version that aren't in any of the others,
which is retarded.
Which Yeah, that's terrible.
Cash in.
Here's one thing I want to extend to everybody else, since we've gone on about this for as long as we did, because it's a pretty big and involving topic, especially for our childhoods and everything. But what is your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game? You can include why if you want to in the comments. And what is your least favorite and why, and all the other good shit. So that's something that'd be awesome. Get some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle banter going on. So yeah, just want to throw that out there.
Oh yeah,
Bingo.
that'd be cool. Now,
I think that
characters.
does it.
Characters. What's your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle character?
Oh, for me, Leonardo. I'm totally cliche in that sense, but yeah, Leonardo, he's the shit. He's the leader, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You okay, Alice?
My favorite is it's a two-way split.
No, you can only have
because-
one. There's no such thing as a two-way.
Oh, you gotta let me have a split, man.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my vote, but I have a runner-up. My runner-up is Usagi Yojimbo, just because that's just the most ridiculous name I've ever heard. Usagi Yojimbo.
Well, he's his own thing. He's got his own
yeah.
series.
Yeah, but he showed up every now and again. So that's why he's a runner-up. But my favorite, and you're going to have to forgive me, I actually want to pick Raphael, but Raphael from the first Ninja Turtles movie. That overall
The badass one.
Because well, I just love his style of humor in that movie. A lot of that humor I remember went over my head as a child, and now to watch it again, it's, like...
My favorite-
when
He also blew the minds of many children by screaming "damn."
Oh yeah, apparently that ruined everybody. But when he brought April home, when he brought April home, and he goes, "What's this?" He goes, "Oh, I don't know, Leo. I was thinking of redecorate. A couple of throw pillows, a TV news reporter. What do you think?"
Or when he grabs, when he's fighting Casey Jones, he's like, "A Jose Canseco bat. Tell me you didn't pay money for this."
Alpha, I'm assuming you're just going to say Michelangelo.
Dude, Michelangelo, he's the party dude. He was the one that I related to the most. He was the fucking goofball of the group, and he didn't give a fuck. That, and during the fucking intro, he throws a pizza directly at the cameraman. He's like, "Fuck you, you fucking piece of shit."
That's Raphael.
Is it Raphael?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's got the fucking the one slice of pizza on his thigh. Never mind.
He's
Well,
the one
you know what?
He's the one that's
I
doing
saw
the
it.
fucking disco spin on the disco floor and all that. So
Yes. Thank you very much. Okay, well, I can't fucking dance. I have no dance moves. But Michelangelo, yeah, he's who I relate to.
Can you mosh?
Seriously.
Spin on his head.
Can you mosh?
Yeah, quite well.
That's
I
a dance
guess.
style.
I don't know
think
how
can dance.
you don't mosh well, but yes.
Yeah.
You can mosh.
All mosh
dance.
implies is being somewhere.
Yeah.
The
And
moshing
all
just not
moshing
happening.
really is trying to stay standing up and not fall down and become a fucking welcome mat.
Yeah.
Remain perpendicular to the floor.
It's like drunken boxing.
No, drunken boxing usually has to do with women.
Yeah. And I'm gonna say my favorite character is actually Casey Jones because he's actually quite funny.
Dude,
Oh,
I was
man,
going to say Donatello, just so
Dude,
all
have
of us would...
you seen? There's an indie film, an independent film called Casey Jones.
Oh boy.
And
Was it about the guy from the railroad, or?
I'm not even gonna lie, it's pretty fucking good. It's an actual Ninja Turtles fan film.
Nice.
Really?
I'm not
Well,
even kidding. You
okay.
need to watch it. It's like an origin story,
Yeah.
like of Casey Jones.
Are
And
the
you can
turtles
tell
in it all?
it's lower budget, you can tell, but here's the cool part. They got the actual voice actor who did Michelangelo in the first movie to be in the fan film, to do the
Oh.
voice.
Fuck
It's
yeah.
pretty fucking rad. There's like production values. It's pretty good. And it's free. You can watch the whole thing on YouTube, full length.
Oh, I'll be looking for that after. No, but just saying, because Casey Jones, if you think about it, he's actually quite a diverse character. Because he's the only one that's actually made golf cool. If you remember in
And
the movie...
cricket.
And cricket, yeah.
And Primatine.
Yeah. And Primatine, yeah.
And he actually made Seiko Seiko bat useful.
Yes.
Cricket. Nobody understands cricket. You gotta
was
know
also-
what a crumpet is to understand cricket.
Yes.
That is a good movie. I don't care what anyone says. That movie
I don't give a.
is genuinely good.
My only beef with those movies is the end of number 2. Number 1, Vanilla Ice was in it. Fuck that noise.
No, it was
And
No,
number
no,
two
no.
he was in.
Well, number one, the Shredder got crushed by a trash compactor and somehow came back, but then he died when they dropped wood on him.
He dropped wood on himself.
He dropped wood on himself. He was too big.
Yeah,
Anyway.
and Super Shredder was Kevin Nash.
Yeah, I was gonna say Diesel.
Oh, still fucking mad, that film.
Which is just awesome.
But they didn't really mention much of Casey Jones in number 2, did they?
No, he came back in 3 though.
He came back in 3, and what was he? A pirate in one life, and then he was like a. He didn't actually fight in the second.
It's like watching a travel episode of Married with Children.
You know, when I went to the movie theater to watch that movie, I actually enjoyed it, but I was fucking 7, so. So cut me a break.
Yeah, well, we can't.
That's a great defense right there. I was fucking 7.
It's if you've watched it in your adult life. That's when we start taking piss out of you. If you've watched it in your adult life.
You know, I'm not even a big fan of number 2. A lot of people like Ninja Turtles 2. I thought it was a little kiddish. I thought it was kind of stupid. Number 1 is actually good. You can, as an adult, you can watch Ninja Turtles, the original from '89, and love it because it's good.
Yeah.
And we will all act like the third movie never existed ever.
What third movie?
Yeah, because it never existed.
The first one had Corey Feldman in it. Even that cannot stop how good that movie is.
He's good as Donatello. He's genuinely pretty good.
He was.
So collectively, we've got to say that we all like Donatello.
Well, you know what? We like all the Ninja Turtles, and we just hope that they stop fucking with it. But you know, what do you?
Hey, Donatello was the only reason any of us could even play through the first fucking Ninja Turtles game.
There you go.
Literally, without him, you couldn't beat the game.
There you
go. The only thing that can save the new Ninja Turtles movie is a Venus de Milo cameo. Little shell titties.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. And no
you know
more.
What's really bad when you said that? That's the first thing that came to mind. I was just like, turtle tits. No.
I perverted a wish.
It's like duck tits from Howard the Duck.
God.
Dude, it's one of those things like you can't unsee, and it's ingrained into my fucking psyche for good, no matter what. It's like turtle tits, you know, that the chick turtle that they brought in and then destroyed the series single-handedly.
That'll be the one thing as you're a senile old man repeating turtle tits, turtle tits, turtle tits. Anyway, that's been the Hate Bit retrospective, where we pick at something that we love and we hope you love and something like that. Anyway, if you have a name for the Hate Bit retrospective, please drop us a line at hatebitpodcast@gmail.com. With all that having been said, it's time for your favorite part, my favorite part, the rant, brought to us today by Alpha Omega Sin and friends. And Alpha Omega Sin's talking about gaming stereotypes. What's going on, Alpha Omega Sin?
Well, more specifically, gamer stereotypes. Now, being that us four very, very handsome motherfuckers are all on YouTube, we've come across this. I'm sure many of you have come across this multitude of times, where everybody seems to be like, oh, you're a gamer? Well, allow me to go and fling some kind of mud at you and use the old cliches. Firstly, did you know that all gamers suddenly are fucking virgins? I apparently, because I play a whole bunch of video games, am completely incapable of getting my dick wet. So I can't find a single vagina to drop my fucking meat pole in all of a sudden because I play a ton of video games. Here's a fun fact for all the little jack-offs out there that have ever fucking thought that. I've gotten my dick sucked while playing SSX. I've fucked to Super Mario music, okay? I've done a world of fucking things, and I'm a big fucking nerd, okay? Through and through. I play Magic the Gathering. I play fucking Dungeons and Dragons. I played tons of video games. So you want to know what? Every single fucking chick that I've boned has liked all those fucking things, and none of them are fucking virgins. So enough of that fucking...
No, it's true. If your girlfriend, it's why I don't let any girls that I know play video games, because if they do, their hymen grows back. That's what happens.
All of a sudden, it's just whoop. Where'd that come from? I don't know, but I'm bleeding again, and it's not my time of the month, fucker. So you gotta love that though, and it's the stereotypical thing. It's kind of like when somebody's just like, "Oh yeah, well, fuck you, faggot." Oh man, suddenly I definitely am fucking questioning my sexuality because your only comeback was to call me a faggot or tell me I'm gay. Well, holy mother of shit, you're definitely using all those fucking brain cells properly. Way to fucking go, champ, and you're so fucking clever too. But let's go and move beyond all the fucking little shit-stained insults. Suddenly, if you are a gamer, you always are living with your parents and you're always residing in the basement.
Yeah.
Firstly, oh no, go ahead.
Even if you're in Arizona or a state where they don't build basements, that's how that works.
No, then you go to the attic. You get
you're in the
upgraded
attic
to the attic. That's like the fucking suite or some shit. But
where no one lives because heat rises, you drooling imbeciles. Anyways.
It's funny though because it's just like, so I always am going to live with my mother because I play video games. Wait a fucking second. I've been on my own since I was 17. That makes no fucking sense to somebody like me. And wait, in the basement, on every single one of my videos, there is a fucking massive goddamn wall of games. Why the fuck would I put them in the basement? That to me just never fucking made any sense. I'm like, really? But I see this said on other people's. It's like, okay, that person enjoys something quite a bit. They engage in the activity of playing video games, so they always live with their parents to be able to do this. And I don't know anybody literally living with their fucking mommies and daddies that is a big time fucking gamer. I legitimately don't. They're all fucking adults and live on their own. And if they live with their families, it's because of financial troubles, not because they fucking play video games, you fucking asshole. That makes no fucking sense. Again, it's just a generic fucking thing to go and toss out at somebody, and it just fucking blows my mind. And then all gamers are fat and out of shape. I work out every single fucking day, literally every single fucking day. I have a fucking six-pack. I've got the gun show going on. Love you, Ron Jeremy. But no, genuinely, I keep myself in really good shape because I would never want to become a slovenly piece of fucking shit. And you want to know what's funny? The same people to say stuff like that are the ones who are like jerking off to a bunch of different fucking sports, and most of them are way more out of shape than, I don't know, everybody that I know. But they don't engage in the activity of playing video games. They just watch a bunch of sports, but they're talking shit on gamers. How the fuck does that make any sense? The thing that you're into the most has a bunch of fit and trim people, and the thing that I'm into, I guess I have to be fat to enjoy? What kind of fucking logic is that? Quit with all the fucking generic bullshit sayings trying to say that gamers fit this stereotype, her to her, because it doesn't fucking work. It's not like that anymore. I'm sorry, this isn't 1987, okay? We're not all fucking Poindexters. We're not all losers. We're not all going to be fucking sitting in a dark room playing fucking Nintendo. Well, no, some of us might be. But regardless, we might actually begin our fucking Johnson's work by some fucking nice lady. Lady of the night, maybe? Who the fuck knows? But seriously, all the fucking little gaming stereotypes need to go out the fucking window, catch on fire, and go away with the wind. That's my 2 cents. Alpha Mega Sin. I love you all.
I just like to say that I don't really have much appreciation for nice ladies.
I know, right?
Nice ladies don't swallow. That's why.
That's exactly it.
Although,
actually, you know, that's not true.
You were saying earlier that it's not 1987, but I don't know. I'd be happy to be a Poindexter if it meant that it could be 1987 again. But that's just
you
me.
know what? That's very true.
He's just saying that because that's when his Yngwie Malmsteen vinyls were worth more.
Exactly, that's true.
No, that was that was very, very wonderful, Alpha. You, my goodness, I thought you were gonna pop.
Hey, it's a rant. You got to rant right.
I know,
You gotta
and
rant properly.
you know,
It's
it's good to know that you've had sex. I'm very appreciative of that.
Yeah, I've been quite the whore in my day, but yeah,
I think we
beyond
all
all,
have.
it's just kind of silly though, because I see it, and it's not even so much that it's said to me. I see it said to other people. I hear other people say it to people, and it's just so fucking generic and mind numbing. I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Do you even believe what you're saying? Is this really trying to be a like? Are you really trying to hurl an insult? Like, come the fuck off of it, man. This shit is retarded.
What's a worse stereotype, though? The stereotype that of jocks and nerds, and if you're a nerd, you play video games and blah, blah, blah. The stereotype you're talking about in this rant, or the stereotype that's recently come to the fore in the last 5 or so years, perpetuated by shows like The Big Bang Theory, that nerds are somehow cool because they're the guys who invent all those shitty memes on 4chan. You know what I mean? Which one's more denigrating to nerddom, as it were? Because I honestly am not sure.
I was gonna say, can I flip a coin? Is that an option?
Yeah, you got that
Like,
option.
It's kind of like being between a rock and a hard-on.
Oh god.
What was that?
You know, it's a Ron Howard movie, man. It's okay if you don't get it. Oh, everyone went quiet.
Yeah.
Suddenly I'm the odd
Yeah,
man
we're,
out.
we're
Thanks.
making you talk.
I'm making you talk, bitch.
No, but that just, I mean, stereotypes of any kind are fucking annoying, but it's really obnoxious how nerds are being depicted in the media now, because now it's, well, shit, Yell Chaos did a whole goddamn rant about it, but it's absolutely true. It's cool to be a nerd
Geek
now.
chic. Like, get the fuck out of my face. And I don't give you wearing nerd glasses for cosmetic reasons. Like, you look like that on purpose?
No. I know, right? Why don't you wear the pocket protector for cosmetic purposes, too? Why don't you wear a retainer for cosmetic purposes while you're at it, asshat?
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you know what? You should also get some pomade, you know, to get that, you know, hipster, you know, great hair look. And, God, these fucking douchebags. I mean, is that where we're really at that
train all the time? No matter what the fuck is cool, they'll jump on that. So they can't even be fucking classified as really anything. All they are is they're like Ditto from Pokemon.
No, what they are,
what is fucking cool in the mass media.
Exactly.
No, I liken it to they are human tofu. They are like whatever they are around. That's as far as I'm concerned. They don't have a flavor of their own, but you put them next to some soy sauce and suddenly, oh shit, they taste like soy sauce.
Oh, yes, flavor. That's right. Food is supposed to taste like things. I remember now. Well, you know, you look at the other flip side of the coin. It seems like that's the only two things going on in popular culture anymore. We have the people who want to identify with nerds because they played the NES, you know, sometime once. And suddenly, you know, they're geeky, they're nerdy, that's the cool thing. And then there's these other faggots that drive the lifted trucks, or they drive BMWs with the sleeve full of tattoos because, you know, they couldn't be bothered to, you know, sprout a fucking personality.
Yeah, you remember when tattoos were for badasses, too?
Do you remember when tattoos were permanent?
Now they've got these fucking tights that for your arms called tattoo sleeves, and
I've seen that, and you know what? That's actually kind of handy because any girl that's gonna fall for that, she's got coming to her what she's got coming to her.
the special moisture missile.
So, boys, if you can get away with the tattoo sleeve thing, hey, remember this: nightclubs are dark.
Yes.
Anyway, with that having been said,
just going back to the whole stereotype for gamers, it's not just gamers though, it happens in music. You know, people assume that because you're a metalhead, for example, that all you listen to is mind-numbingly hard rock metal, and I can't listen to the shit that you listen to fucking comes out of the fucking cesspit of a fucking mouth hole. And, you know, you said it yourself.
It's a mouth hole.
I know. But other people listen to, you know, you can listen to different types of music and not, you know, and still dress like that. This is what they don't realise, is that it's like it's the rule. You know, if you're a nerd, you will play video games. You will look like, you know, a weakling. You will have a retain. You will have this, that, and the other.
Sainted Magnus, you sound like you've been oppressed.
Yeah, I have been oppressed.
Help! I'm being repressed. Sorry.
Oppressed, not repressed.
Maybe you should go on the Oprah network.
Oh, fuck Oprah.
Yeah, but one of the things is, like, you know, whenever I was going on about the rant, I mean, some people were like, well, you're just trying to prove yourself. And it's not a matter of even trying to prove it at myself. It's one of those things of, I'm trying to show you that the stereotype really isn't all that fucking valid. And it's really not all that true. As a matter of fact, all four of us break that stereotype mold pretty easily, and we're not unique by breaking that mold. It, you know, there's lots and lots of people out there just like us, just like you. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
it's
and the nerd stereotype is lost. The nerd, like, just the nomenclature itself has lost a lot of its potency. So a lot of people nowadays, the standby insult for anyone who watches my show and disagrees with something that I have to say and is cranky because I bagged on Final Fantasy VII or whatever the fuck. The standby insult is, "Oh, you're a metalhead. You listen to shitty growly music." Man, I don't listen
why
to
are
any
you
metal that has
hipsters,
growling
by the
in it.
way?
I know. I would like metal, but I don't like growling. What? There's like most metal doesn't even have growling in it. How does that even
Yeah.
work?
I know.
Like,
well, see, you can't explain that to them. They just assume that it's all the same exact thing. And also, we're not all fucking Satanists when we listen to metal. I figure I just toss that out there. Just because I wear black all the fucking time doesn't mean I'm evil. Doesn't mean I'm emo either. Doesn't mean I'm a drug dealer. Doesn't mean I'm on drugs, and it doesn't mean I'm a fucking Satanist. It just means that I'm wearing black clothes. Fuck off.
Because it's comfortable.
yep.
Like,
emo,
I have
also,
emo
we're not very
shorts.
fashion
I'm not in a
conscious
fucking
people.
army.
emo kids really did ruin it for the metalheads. They really did. Now you can't wear tight jeans, you can't wear dark clothing, and you can't have dark hair
No.
anymore without being accused of being an emo. Even though metal was doing that shit for how long, and goth for
Fucking
how long?
years.
For that.
Decades,
like-
actually.
Jesus, fuck, seriously?
Why
Hey,
why
Oh
can't...
well, life sucks and everything's terrible.
You see, this is why I hate emos myself. Emos, they
This is
destroyed...
why I hate people.
They destroyed everything that was fucking cool.
Oh yeah, no, it's like, oh, look at Razor, he must be emo, he wears eye makeup and he wears tight jeans and blah blah. It's like, dude, have you never heard of hair metal? Have you never heard of like Slayer wore eye makeup? Like, do you even know what you're talking about? Emo was a glint in its father's
Oh
nutsack.
yeah,
Slayer.
but Slayer
Dude.
wore eye makeup before they discovered beer.
Yeah.
Dude, how about this? Okay, the Undertaker, you know, the wrestler, the dude
Yeah.
that's much bigger than all of us, wears eyeliner and all black. Would you call him emo?
I'd like to
Because
see
if
the
you- if
person
you
it does.
Literally,
if you're
if anybody
planning on
would,
calling him emo-
wholeheartedly, please do it on video so I can watch you get fucking stomped into nothing. I
Yeah,
will.
if you're planning on if you're planning on calling the Undertaker emo, make sure it's a group call with your next of kin, motherfucker, because he will actually snap your back in half. He
Yeah,
will.
like that's the thing that's funny. It's just like, so you're saying, you know, the stereotypes, they're fucking lame. They annoy me to no end. That's why I want to go off on this. I know many people listening right now have either heard that stereotype, had it thrown at them for next to no fucking reason, when somebody was just like, well, I'm running empty on insults, I'll just fucking desperately grab at anything. And, you know, we're talking about the fucking music ones right now, and I know damn well somebody's had to heard these. It's just fucking lame, and it sucks. Every fucking phallic member possible. Doesn't matter if it's fucking infested with any kind of STDs, it just sucks it anyway. Fuck it.
Well, that's another thing that they also grab for. They also grab for the, like you mentioned in your rant. They grab you on the sexuality side of things. You know, just because I don't know, I play Pokemon games. Alpha plays Pokemon games. Are we gay? No, we're not.
No.
We just enjoy the game for what it is. It's a fucking good game.
Although on that topic,
Oh, here we go. Here we go. You gonna have
There
a pop
was-
of my sexuality?
No,
Try
no,
it,
no.
boy.
That
Try
topic
it.
this is the last thing we'll say, because God, we really need to end it for Christ's sake. But anyways, when I was working at the comic store, right, we used to have this like Pokemon card tournament every Saturday. We would just run it and whatever, and every single week people would show up. And there was this one dude, I think he might have been Hispanic maybe, and he was full on like FUBU shirt, like full on just wearing all the G gear and whatnot, and he'd stroll on into the store like, you know, full on strutting like a G,
Yeah.
and then he'd go into the back and play Pokemon with little kids for 5 hours. And it was like he was like the Poke G. It was
Poke G.
freaking brilliant, this guy. I mean, I understand the stereo-
Poke master, poke gangster, you know it, bitch.
If this guy was, you know, rolling in his lowrider to play Pokemon with little kids, the stereotypes no longer apply, folks.
Yeah.
He's probably the same guy that like elbows little kids in front of the ice cream man. Well,
he was-
no.
No, he's actually a pretty chill guy. So
Well, that's good to know. I'm glad to know that guys who play games with little kids are actually all right. That's good to know. Anyway, now that we've had a nice big cry, I think we can wipe the slate clean and say that all is well at the Hate Bit podcast. The lesson here is ignore the stereotypes, ignore those who say otherwise, fuck them, be yourself, do your thing. You guys have been fabulous. I'm Yell Chaos, and with me has been Razor Fist.
Nipples again.
Alpha Omega Sin.
I'll go with the butthole since I said butt cheeks before. It's got to be bleached. Gotta get that shit right. Bleach it, bitches. Bleach it.
And the ever devious Sainted Magnus.
The ever devious.
No.
No, I'll leave you with this this phrase. I'm not evil. I'm just good at it. I've been Sainted Magnus.
We thank you for joining us. You guys have been fucking fabulous, and we have been the Hate Bit Podcast. Anything else? Oh yeah, do a barrel roll right off a fucking cliff. See ya!
And don't listen to Nintendo.